for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. From the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Much better. All right. So we got some money in the bank action going on in the background on the television. And some beer here to pour. It looks like some raspberries going on. So let me go ahead and get into this. It's been a while, my friend. Haven't seen you since Father's Day. It's a shitty gift to end my Father's Day on. Seeing Steve.
Surprise.
Actually, what was it? My one friend, Dunkel, I believe he became a father on Father's Day. Sarah became a mother on Mother's Day, as did my goddaughter. So I guess that's the day to, become a parent. It smells pretty good. Let me just dig in a little more.
So that means they got to share with the kid's birthday, I assume.
Yeah, I guess.
So then their day gets trumped.
Not this year, but the year before. 2022. Sophie's birthday landed on Mother's Day. So it was one of those weird things where it was like, oh, okay, it's Mother's Day. And we don't really do anything crazy for Mother's Day or Father's Day. It's a fucking Sunday. Like, chill out. And the only reason that is because, like, the way those holidays are set up, it's like, oh, the moms get, like, a diamond bracelet, and the dads get a pair of socks. I got a pair of pajama pants. Go me. I don't know what we got, Sarah, for Mother's Day. It's probably something just as shitty. I don't remember. I bought something.
Some X-Men figures.
Probably. Now that I think about it, ooh. You know what probably did happen? I ordered her thing, and I ordered some figures to come along with them in the same box. And I was like, why not? Two birds with one stone. So what's been going on, man? You've been going away for a while.
So yeah, we went to Fort Lauderdale. Good trip, but we got delayed going out and super delayed coming home. So the trip home was like 8 hour total when it should have been 2.5 hour flight. That part wasn't fun, but Lauderdale was pretty cool. It's weird is now that I've been where I can explore in that area a little longer. There's not much there really. Like the street of bars is like it's one little spot, the main part to go out in. The same company owns them all. There is a pretty cool hookah bar where it's like a nice lounge where you're sitting outside on some couches, drinks. Spent a lot of money, of course, there, but was fun. One thing I think worth mentioning is have you ever seen a Taco Bell cantina?
Well, only in Florida.
Yeah. So Florida, by the way, I've never had anything good to eat in Florida. Like, it's the worst food I've ever had.
Wow.
I end up resorting to fast food or Taco Bell because there's nothing good.
Wow, that's
like we ordered one night we got some takeout just because DoorDash, just because it was late night and everything was closed. But it was like some bourbon chicken, usually like some good Asian type style food or stuff like that. Chicken and rice. It was so unbelievably bad.
That's weird. Like, really?
I've been to Florida, I'd say 4 or 5 times, and have gone out to some fancier. Oh, I ate at the Versace Mansion. Very mediocre food. It was just like expensive chicken.
Gay!
But yeah, I mean, the best food I can remember is like a sports bar that just has like wings.
So it's funny because like in all my years going to Florida back and forth, I don't remember ever eating in Florida. I had to have eaten.
It's not memorable.
But yeah. So last time I went to Florida was 2010 for my friend Nicole and Mike's wedding. And it was a legit one-day trip. I think we left Saturday morning, landed, went to the hotel, got dressed, went to the wedding, left, went home, took a nap, got on the plane, went home. We ate at the wedding. The food was pleasant, and this was in Fort Lauderdale as well. And then we ordered a pizza that night because because we got up to go take pictures, and I came back, my plate was gone. And I remember, we're sitting there talking with Mike and Nicole. Mike was like, "Was everything okay? Was the food good?" I was like, "The food was good. The 2 bites that I had, dude. But I went to take pictures with y'all, and I came back, my plate was gone." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll go order a pizza now." I was like, "Damn, dude, that sucks. My bad." I was like, "Yeah."
But so they have a Taco Bell cantina. So I don't like Taco Bell particularly all that much. It's usually a last resort if I'm going there. But yeah, I think it started to rain, and so it's it's like on a second floor, but it's like one of those things where you're outside and inside at the same time. The walls open up.
Yeah.
But they serve alcohol. And I was like, if Taco Bell here served alcohol, they'd be way more popular. So they have, lots of draft beer. The draft beers are wild because it's one of those weird plastic cups that have this little thing on the bottom and they push down and it comes up from the bottom.
Yeah.
It actually pours better. Like there's no foam that way.
I always wondered how that worked because I would see it and I was like, dude, what is that? And I want to be a part of it.
But that was interesting. We went to a pool bar. I did the right thing. I got the water bottle, filled it with vodka, with a little Red Bull. It was funny. And we ended up at Taco Bell briefly, and it was funny. The next day, I was like, whatever happened to our bottle of vodka and Red Bull? It's like, I don't know. Then we were at Taco Bell the next day because it started to rain. And it was like a good spot to kind of take cover. You know how it rains like for 20 minutes and it'll be sunny again. So we were taking cover there, and we look at the trash cans like, there it is. And we did stop by there. I was like, I guess I'll just leave it now.
There you have it.
But
the mystery of the vodka and Red Bull.
Yeah. I wish I took a picture of it because it was kind of funny. We were like discussing where we could have left it, and then literally looks over. It's right at the trash can. It makes sense that I probably put it down to throw the tray away.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, fun, short trip, and delays back. Is why we got delayed a week. But we're just giving you guys time to catch up.
Just so y'all know, I've never made us delay. Like our 2 delays have been Steve, so y'all keep that in mind.
The other one's COVID.
I had COVID, bitch, and recorded.
Well, that wasn't nice of you.
I told you, bitch. I said, "Hey, yo, I text you." This was what the text said.
So
I will pull the text.
That's
up.
more heroics by me. The fact I was willing to get COVID.
Okay, bitch, I was willing to get COVID too. I told you, just come through, record.
Yeah. I was
like,
dead.
I don't feel good. I was like,
that was like that first real bad day of COVID was the recording day. I had the three really, really bad days.
You would have been better off doing it. You would have been listed as a hero. You would be in the Hall of Fame right now if you would have showed up and recorded.
The Colompton Hall of Fame. Yes. There's only 2 people.
There's none right now.
There will be.
But you would have been in it, but now you're not. Your nomination for it is under review.
It's like I have the stats, but I don't have the accolade like the champions.
It's like you're the Dan Marino of Colompton. It's like, look, man, you got the numbers, but where's the ring? Like, what?
Yeah, I heard it was weird, a lot of NBA discussions on that type of stuff. And one was Paul George's name. I was like, he's not a Hall of Famer to me. He didn't win anything.
I don't know. NBA a Hall of Fame gets weird to me because it's like who's in, who's out, who should be in, who shouldn't be in. And it's like you think about like during the Jordan era, like how many cats he kept from winning a title. So that gets kind of a weird
Yeah, and a lot of them got in, like Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, all of them dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess he has the stats. He just doesn't seem like a dominant player. I mean, there are some people in the Hall of Fame that I don't think should be there too. So,
is there anyone not in the Hall of Fame that you think should be there?
Off the top of my head,
for any sport.
Oh,
discounting Pete Rose because he's not allowed in right now.
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, it's like he got a gambling problem. They say because you have an addiction, you can't be in the Hall of Fame. The fuck kind of shit is that? That's like telling a cokehead they can't be in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of which, is Dwight Gooden in there? He's in there, right?
In the baseball Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he should be in there.
I don't know if he is.
I feel like he should be. He
I mean, baseball has a lot of like
I
the
bet he's in
steroid
there.
thing
I bet he's
hurt
in there.
some people and then helped
Where's
some
my phone?
people.
Let's look it up. I bet he's in there. Oh, like
Well,
hold
if
on.
he's in, Daryl Strawberry better be.
Well,
in.
yeah, he
But
does coke too.
he's not in. I know he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh well, let me look.
He's not.
I'm gonna find Daryl Strawberry.
I'm
His
positive
name's
he's
Strawberry.
not.
Why would you not? Hold on.
He
Daryl
did lead the league in home runs one year,
Strawberry,
and it was
Hall
an
of Fame.
unimpressive 39.
Hall of Fame. Hall of fuck my fat.
They should be a
thumbs.
different Hall of Fame of
for drugs.
yeah.
Let's see here. He were I don't see anything Hall of Fame-ish for him. And Doc Gooden. Let's
I
see.
don't think he is.
I feel like because of the drug use, they should be in there.
Because that's probably why he's not though.
Oh, Doc Gooden is in there, bitch.
Oh.
2010. Don't ever fucking doubt me again. I know things. Like I'm gonna be honest. That was a guess. I just because he's one of those names that you always hear, so you just assume he's in. Like Ryan Sandberg for the Cubs. I only know that name because I just saw it again recently. But I remember as a kid, it was a popular name. I think he's in the Hall of Fame though. But any other sports?
Nothing's going to the top of my head. I feel like NBA's got to have some stat guys that just never did anything career-wise.
Yeah, the '90s was full of them. Because again, Jordan kept.
But
so
they
many
were
people
they
winning
got a lot
titles.
of those guys got in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of those guys had good stats, and they look good. They should be Hall of Famers. But if we're talking about titles, then you would discount.
So I
Most of
know
the
some
90s.
future Hall of Famers that are kind of wild ones. Like Westbrook will be a Hall of Famer, I'm sure, because of averaging a triple-double for a season and his stats for his career. But he's also, like I said, he is often the worst player on the court.
That sounds dirty to say, though. Like even when you said, it, I was like, ugh. But
He
you're
leads
right.
the league, and he'll lead the league potentially in points, assists, rebounds, and turnovers.
Let's see. I think Chauncey got in. And, I mean, it wasn't just because of the Pistons, though. He was a good player. Rasheed Wallace. No, he didn't get in yet. I don't think. But Ben Wallace got in, I believe, because
Yeah, he had a lot of all defensive teams.
they made a point, though, that he was the only undrafted player to make it to the Hall of Fame, which is kind of big business, I think. But, again, these guys won championships, so... Is Grant Hill? I don't think Grant Hill's there.
He should be, though.
I don't think that he's there yet, but I agree he should be, but I don't think he's there.
His career was cut
You
short.
know what keeps him from going there? He got drafted to that Pistons team with those shitty uniforms. The turquoise
He missed a lot of time. Had he not got hurt, he was like a top 5 player. I think he was originally supposed to be like the heir apparent to Jordan.
Yeah, he drank Sprite.
I do remember those commercials. Grant Hill drinks Sprite.
And my one friend Marcus looked just like him, but he didn't play ball like him. And he balled now.
By the way, did you see how many ESPN people got fired over the weekend?
No, I've
That's a
been
lot.
detached from everything. I've been sick. As
Jalen
fuck.
Rose is fired.
What did he do? Drugs?
Nah,
He from
they
Detroit.
just laid off because they need to cut. Disney's cutting salaries.
They cutting salaries. Then if they cutting salaries, they better have better CGI
So,
for those fucking Marvel movies.
With the NBA, it was him and Van Gundy. So they were like the two main commentators. I think of who else big name. Oh, the girl. What was her name? Was it
I don't
Susie?
pay attention to
Was it
girls' names.
Susie?
Susie Colbert.
It was one of the really long-term ones.
That sounds like a name.
NBA layoff. So Jeff Van Gundy. Oh, come on, load. Producer.
Yeah, I told Sarah. I was telling Sarah earlier today. I was like, and it'd be nice if we had a producer for the show. And I explained like when Aaron was like, "I'll be the producer," and was telling us, "You should talk more about this." And I was like, "No, that's not what we need. We need someone just to pull up stats for us when we're fucking up." I'm gonna drink more of this because this was actually pretty good. Well, while you look that up, I have a question for you because this just dawned upon me as I'm switching insurances and stuff again for healthcare.
Was Susie Colbert.
See, I told you, don't fucking doubt. Dude, I know things. Do not fucking doubt me. I know stuff.
She was there for a long time.
She was there since I was a little kid. I used to, like, wake up watch ESPN and slap the hand. When was the last time you went to the doctor for a checkup?
It was actually pretty recent, like
So
within the last 2 months.
Finger in the butt?
No, they said
Not
they
yet.
didn't have to do it this time.
Yeah, okay.
No,
So-
I had have it, but not. It was the worst experience
Yeah, I
ever.
feel like
But
grip the
I don't
table.
know why I didn't have to this time. So
Probably because you did it last time. You know what I was? They probably were prematurely doing it before. You didn't have to do it. And they're like, oh, we don't got to do it. You had a male doctor or a female doctor?
this last time was female, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, I always stay getting female doctors or Asian doctors. I need people with little hands, just in case. I don't want it to get weird. But my other doctor, he was this Indian dude. He was like 6'7". His fucking hands like a fucking catcher's mitt. And I just knew every time he came in that room, it was like he wants to put his whole hand in my ass. So I'm looking for a new doctor now because I had to switch insurance. So we had a mishap with the insurance. I got hired on, went to the insurance that I love, and my wife was like, look, we would really like to stick with the other insurance because of our daughter's doctor. And I was like, man, fuck them kids. So I took one for the team and said, yes, let's do it, fine. Now, in doing that, I decided this is a time to look for a new doctor. Oh, got the hiccups now. And while I look for a new doctor, I noticed as I'm scrolling through, it was nothing but females. I didn't put the settings on females. I left the settings just open for everyone. Every doctor that I scrolled past was a woman. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't feel comfortable about this because I don't trust women doctors because, girls.
You can't say that anymore.
I can't call them girls.
No, women, they don't exist.
No, but
People born. Wait, what is it called now? I think I came across.
oh,
it.
you're right. I
You
can't
gotta
call
say
them women. I have
born
to. Oh yeah,
woman and identify women. Like you have to
don't-
specify everything.
Don't. Let's not do that, dude. Because I'll just end up going to beat someone up. And they're like, you can't hit a woman. Oh, now you chose me a woman. It's convenient now, whore. But no, like
Dang, so is whore offensive now? Because you're assuming the wrong gender.
no, men could be whores. Well, by definition, no, women could be whores. I don't know that men could be whores, but I would say it should qualify because anyone who's had, the definition of a whore is someone who's had.
So if you are a whore, can you identify as not a whore?
Yes. I mean, we could identify as anything now, but like if you've had, let's say, my mother is not a whore. She was very close. But not close enough. If you had 3 children or more by 3 different dudes, then you're a whore. So I know some whores.
I can just see it like explaining like it's okay. No, it's because you had 3 kids by 3 fathers. I'm
But-
just
and
saying the
it's-
definition.
That's the thing. Like people use whore as like a prostitute. They use it for that term. It's like no. That's not a whore. That's just a prostitute. That's a working person. Well, we're not. They're sex workers now. So like we're not supposed to shame them either. Which I don't shame sex workers because I mean you got to pay them bills. Son. Pay them bills. Like, but if you're a whore, I'm gonna shame you. It's like come on, dude, chill. Like just like we have a friend. She has a lot of children. But the thing about her having a lot of children, well, it's not a lot. She has three children, 4 children now, because she had a son later on in life. It's like she always turned back to the same dude. It was like, look, we might be fighting now, we might not be getting along, but I want another baby, so put one in me. And it always worked out that way. And I love that relationship. So there's that.
So if you're at number 2 and that doesn't work out,
You may as well stop while you're ahead. Because if you go to number 3, you know what you're going to be.
they should put that on your license.
W-O or W-H-O-R-E. Whore. Hooah. But how do we get there? Oh, doctors.
Dang, we started talking about ESPN layoffs.
Because you're taking too much time.
I got the list, by
I
the
want
way.
to talk about the doctors because I'm just trying to find a new doctor. And I'm looking for a sports medicine doctor. Because just the stupid injuries that I get, I crushed it, dude. You're taking too long. Dude,
Sour
it's not even a
just-
drop.
It's like one of those.
Nah, I like it a lot.
No, it's not bad. It's just it is sour.
But I was looking. I was like, look, I want a sports medicine doctor, and the only sports medicine doctor that came up was this female. And then I was looking at the name. I was like, oh, she young. Like I need a Dolores. I need like a Amelia or something. But and the thing is about someone named Amelia. I feel like Amelias have thick fingers, so I don't know about that. A Dolores, Dolores sounds like a thick fingered woman too. You know?
I only know one Dolores, and she was quite tiny.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I know a couple Doloreses. They got some thick wrists. I don't want those fingers in my butthole. You know what I'm gonna try to just tell you?
I don't know if that's what you should be
I-
choosing your doctor based on.
Fuck you. That's an important thing. If a
I
finger
think you should call around and just ask. What's the size of her fingers?
what's your ring size? Like, why do you care? Like, just curious. But no, like, that's fucking important to me, dude, because I mean, as most dudes probably don't want a finger in the There's some dudes that are squirrely like that. And that's fine, more power to them. I'm not one of them. Like, I always get like an Asian doctor because they tend to have traditionally little fingers, except for like Koreans. They be having big
See,
ass hands.
now you're being judgmental.
Yeah. I'm worried about that kind of shit, dude. That shit's concerning, man. I don't, like, look. All right, man, give me the list. Who's on the list?
Well, for the real. All right, so we got Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, Keyshawn Johnson, Max Kellerman, Susie Colbert,
Max again?
Matt Hasselbeck,
Good.
Chris Chelios, Steve Young, Rob Ninkovich,
Oh, that sucks.
Neil Everett, Ashley Brewer, June Lee, LaFonso Ellis, and Todd McShay.
So they didn't fire fucking the other Hasselback?
Is he on there?
They kept Tim?
That was Tim's the one
he's a
who played
cock.
for Washington for
I
a little
hate
bit.
that dude. Like, I hate that dude with a passion.
I would have rather them fire. Who's the other draft expert guy?
Kuiper?
Kuiper. Yeah,
Yeah, his time is due.
he looks like Count Dracula.
He's been there since. Like, he was doing that shit when we were kids, yo.
Yeah, and him and McShay were getting into it.
I think McShay has surpassed him.
I think McShay's, he's got the eye. He's got the younger. The game has changed.
Yeah,
Gotta-
I think
you gotta go
McShay's the
younger.
guy. So I'm kind of torn because Kirk Herbstreit, when they do the college football stuff, I like him as an analyst, but he was quarterback for Ohio State back in the day. So it's kind of that weird thing where it's like, I like this dude, but I shouldn't. But if they fired him, I wouldn't be mad. But I'd be a little sad.
I like Jalen Rose. I don't like Van Gundy. I know he's got a lot of fans, but he does too much of the whole. Back when I coached, that would have never fly. And it's just like that gets old when you say it 20 times a game.
Yeah, it's cool.
Or he tries to play the tough guy. Meanwhile, he looks like his name should be Poindexter.
Yeah, wasn't he the one like hanging on to some
Yeah,
Alonzo
getting
Mourning's
tracked.
leg?
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, but like, oh, that's this guy's.
like,
Back in my days, we would have never let that fly.
Yo, why grab onto the leg? Yo? Like, what was he even thinking? Like, what, he thought he was a 4-year-old? Because my daughter used to do that to me too. She'd cling onto my leg, and I try to walk around with her hanging onto my leg.
I have been thinking about this. The TNT crew I like a lot for basketball.
Yeah.
Charles,
They'd be
Shaq, Kenny Smith, and
The
Ernie.
white guy.
Ernie.
Nah,
But it's like
that's a fun group.
they're getting old. Like,
they're still fun.
Eventually they're gonna be like 80 years old. Charles and Shaq gonna be messing with each other with their canes.
Don't trip me. I can't get up if I fall.
But yeah, but I do know like some younger people really aren't. Most are familiar with Shaq, and not everyone's familiar with Charles.
But that's generational though, because they're like people that we weren't familiar with when we were kids, and it's just that just happens though as
We
time
did have
passes.
Madden for forever.
So
And
he,
Pat Summerall.
he dead as fuck. Summerall has to be dead, right?
I think he died first.
Well, yeah, because Madden just recently died. I feel like Summerall died a long time ago. Like Summerall probably died like 20 years ago. He's probably been dead. That's fucked up. Speaking of dead, let's rate this
Boom,
beer.
heck of a play.
Talk about let's talk about this beer and then talk about the Titanic. Awkward pause.
That beer went
By
down
guest in the
like
background.
Titanic. Blackberry Smash Imperial Sour. We don't have too many Imperial Sours. Oh, you're going to like the name of this brewing company. Smutty Nose.
Mm-hmm. Slutty nose.
Smutty.
Smitty.
Smutty.
Okay.
Isn't smut like...
Is that smutty nose? Oh, it's like nose, like, oh, the actual nose. I thought you meant like nose, like he knows it. Okay.
Smutty Nose. Yeah, I wonder what they were thinking. Like, who's this is named after?
I bet it was just a word. A couple of friends were sitting around and someone said it, and it was like, oh, that should be the name of our company.
Smutty Nose. Out of Hampton, New Hampshire. So it's an Imperial Sour Ale with blueberry flavors. I'm sorry, blackberry. Definitely tastes like blackberry. I would say it doesn't taste like a beer. I mean, it does taste like a sour, but it's almost like a...
It's a treat.
Almost like a wine cooler. Not wine cooler, but more flavors similar to that.
A flavored, like a over-flavored seltzer.
Yeah. So, yeah, not very, very beer-like, even for a sour.
It was
But-
tasty.
9% being that it's an Imperial.
That'll do it. So with that being what it is, 9%, it was delicious. And are there any other factors that go into this? It was tasty. It was delicious.
We got the 9%.
I think I could drink multiple of these though. I like it. I like this a whole fucking lot actually. I'm gonna have to take this name down. I'm gonna give this like
Smutty
I'm
Nose.
gonna give it a 7.7. I like it a lot, man.
Yeah, this is good.
Yo,
I like
looking
that
at
it's
these
9%.
female wrestlers right now, and let me tell you, dude, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Well, not that one. Let's talk about Ronda when she was in there, and then that blonde one. I can't remember her name. Liv Morgan. Yeah, Liv Morgan. I like her too. The big tall chick. I don't know what her name is, but she be like picking bitches up because she's a giant. I'm into that though. Like I'm into like giant women. how I like them.
BH.
I'm actually gonna go to her flower stand soon and visit because it's nearby. So
I'm going to go 7-6.
okay,
76ers.
that's fair.
By the way, is the sound okay? For some reason, I'm not hearing you in my headphones.
Like I'm seeing me pop up here as I'm talking, so everything seems fine. It might be. Hold on, talk.
Test. I hear myself in the headphones, but I don't hear you in my headphones.
All right, I might have had mine. Can you hear me a little better now? Nope.
I mean, I hear you, but just not in my headphones.
Tough break. Really?
But yeah,
Oh, this.
test. I hear myself good.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't hear you at all.
I hear me perfectly fine.
Well, maybe we're set to hear ourselves.
I mean,
Oh, you hear me in the headphones.
Yeah, I hear you fine. Like, I don't know what your fucking problem is, son. Hold on a second.
But I hear you fine.
Hold on a second. All right, it's been settled. Steve.
Oh, that sounds good,
just
though.
fucked. Oh, whatever. Don't do that to me. Because I didn't do anything different. Like, everything was still on the settings. Maybe I just need to pause it. I don't know. But either way, so 7776, good to go. We had a guest in the background. There was my goddaughter's here. Teresa is here as well. Her mother. I think my goddaughter's best friend is here as well. They brought the baby over. I think Teresa was like, "I'm here," but we were in the middle of talking about doctors and fingers and butts, and that is much more important than anything else in the world. So yeah, while you were away, I guess some motherfuckers went down to see the Titanic.
Oh, and their
And
PlayStation controller
so
stuff?
did they actually make it to the Titanic, or did they just they're on their way and it
I
just
feel like it was on their way.
that
Because I think
sucks.
they lost contact. Signal. Maybe the batteries went dead in their PlayStation controller.
So that's what I told Sarah. I was like, yo, if they're using the PlayStation controller, yo, I'm gonna let you know the distance for that isn't very good. Like chill, son.
And they're underwater.
Yeah, like what are you doing? I've been like out of the loop of everything. I didn't find out about it until the memes. and I was still trying to figure out like what are these memes about, and and I was just like, okay, so what? Like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, some motherfuckers went down the sub to see the Titanic. I was like, okay, and they're like, yeah, they built the sub in the backyard. That's what it looked like, at least. I was like, oh damn, and I saw a picture. I was like, oh shit. Well, I want to stay tuned to this. So like, yeah, they only got about like 40 hours of oxygen left in the tank, where they're at. So, they're probably not going to make it. We can't get to them. I was like, oh shit. Like, damn, that sucks. I was like, yeah, there's like a couple billionaires on there. They paid like $250,000 to get on. And I was like, oh, really? Well, fuck them then. Like, that's what you get.
There was all sorts of things. One was like, the initial report was that it probably imploded. Meaning the pressure came too heavy and it just basically crushes like a can instantly. Yeah. But then there's like, it changed to being like, well, they have like until Thursday enough supply of air. Then there's some conspiracy theories of like where all the, like, I guess it was military. Someone was trying to help find it. Like,
yeah,
that they knew from the get-go it was gone. But it was like distracting everyone from some other major news events because it just took the precedent over it. And it was like they stretched it out for a few days knowing that it was all gone. Who knows what the truth is nowadays?
Yeah, I think the thing that bugs me about the whole conspiracy thing and they're trying to distract us, you can say that about anything then. If that's the case, then don't fucking watch the news. How about that? Because there's news all the fucking time. That's distracting. You know how fast news turns over nowadays? Like, motherfuckers die. We talk about it for a day. Then it's like, okay, and on to the next story. So to say, oh, well, they're distracting us, fuck those people. Like, yeah, conspiracies, they're out there. But not everything's a fucking conspiracy theory. And that's why I think that's the shitty thing about, conspiracy theorists is that they get a bad rap because there are legitimate people who are actually into like real conspiracies trying to figure out the real shit. And then there are the fucking dickheads that live in their mom's basement that are calling everything a conspiracy. And now they're giving like the real people looking at shit a bad name. So when some shit goes down, we're like, okay, put on your tinfoil hats, dickhead. And it's like, no, there's some shit really going on. Now, as far as this fucking sub, okay, it more than likely happened. They're more than likely dead. And it sucks. The memes are great.
There were some things that came out, though, like talking about what could have happened. And, like, one of them in particular I read was the scariest shit ever. It was like, one was like, hopefully it did implode and they died instantly. Because one theory was like, it could have got lost and started into a permanent spin where you're so deep down, it's pitch black, so you can't see anything. And then they're just flipping over each other continuously. And then they're like, that will cause you to start people vomiting. Some people may be dead. People are shitting their pants. And you're just continuously spinning. And I was like, this sounds like the worst torture of ever if that happened. But it was like, that guy's page is like one of those pages like super negative, like the most negative spin you could have on something.
Of course.
Their typical post. I was like, but just thinking of that was a possibility of happening. I was like, that sounds like the worst thing ever.
So the initial thing that I stumbled upon once it seemed like the dust was settled was they only had so many hours of oxygen. This was like on a Monday or a Tuesday. By the time we got to like late Wednesday, like that time had run out by that point. And then I think sometime between Wednesday and Thursday, we heard that it imploded. Now, how the internet works as well is that everyone's an expert at things. Everyone's an expert on submarine pressure now. So they're talking about it imploding, and even people are like, well, they're already dead before it imploded. It's like, do you know that though? Like, we don't know that.
I don't think they found them.
No,
they found like a piece or something.
Oh, they found at least that
much.
I thought
they did, which like would have implied it did implode. But I don't think if anything was found, it's not very much.
Now, I will say this. Though I did enjoy the memes, I did not repost any of the memes, even to the Colompton page. It's not even a matter of like poor taste or anything. I just felt like, because my one friend, she made a very valid point, and I'm kind of in line with her on this. As she's got a a good job now, but for many years she was struggling financially. She lives in Indiana, and you'd have these billionaires and politicians talking about, well, if you can't afford this, then just skip breakfast. Shit like dumb shit like that. Talking about poor. It's like, or here's the thing, quit fucking inflating all the prices on things just to fucking pad your pockets. Like during COVID, all this chaos is going on. Meanwhile, we got all these people making billions of dollars because of this fucking thing. But the thing is, it's like she put up a post, as she put up many, and someone commented, we shouldn't be taking joy in, these people dying. And I to a degree, agree with that person. And my friend was like, well, look, the families, that sucks. Very sad for them. With these fucking people, with all this money, just throwing away to, hey, let's go deep dive and go see the fucking Titanic. Let's pay, $250,000 to go see the Titanic. And for what, though?
When you're that rich, you need to find something expensive to spend your money on.
Well,
The fact it cost $250, that probably made it even more like, oh yeah, let's do this.
I would have to ask, where's my $250 going, though? If you look at the vessel, though, it's like, whoa, where'd you build this? Like in the garage? Yeah, it's pretty tough. It just went out last week. It was good. Really? Are you sure it was good? It came back. With everyone, did everybody survive? Mostly. Okay, here's my $250. But it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying like rich people need to give their money away, to but I also think too, don't like thumb your fucking noses at the poor. They're like, hey, look what I'm doing. So it's like what she's saying is like, I'm not gonna feel bad for somebody doing something stupid. You made a stupid choice. What did you think was gonna happen? So there you go. Fuck off. Now, as far as posting any of the memes, again, I'm not gonna do that because they do have family, and I couldn't imagine something horrible happening to my family and then having to see the memes over and over. But I think one of the sons got into it with Cardi B on Twitter, some shit, and it was a weird like back and forth. It's always funny when people like, I saw one of the tweets that he sent back. It was like, Cardi, your music's trash, and I just feel like that's such a fucking fourth grade like comeback, dude. Like you're like rich. Couldn't you hire somebody to come up with a better comeback for you? You dumb fuck.
Did you ever hear like the Titanic conspiracy?
Which one?
The one where it's actually not the real Titanic and the boat switched.
I don't think I've heard
And
that one.
I forget who it is, but someone who they said owned the Titanic, like all his like financial like competitors or something was on the Titanic that sank, and he conveniently got off.
So the thing with a conspiracy like that is like,
Oh yes, it was about the Federal Reserve Bank. I believe the Titanic was sunk on purpose to eliminate the opposition to the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank. So like all the people that were the opposition were on the Titanic and it sank, and then the people that were for it got off the boat ahead of time. So that was one big conspiracy
but
theory.
how would you
And
make
it was,
that
who was it?
happen though?
Oh, I mean, basically let's see, the Titanic made her voyage. Because there was another boat the same size. It was the J.P. Morgan were the people that got off. And then that whole financial institution started around.
So the thing is though, it's like, how would you make that happen though? Because they ran into an iceberg. It's not like, something dropped on it conveniently. They ran into an iceberg and got fucked. Like, I'm just not getting how that would be something that they could orchestrate and organize to happen. So their conspiracy theory can go fuck itself. That's what I think of that one. Give me another.
Well, that's the main one. But
they're a
he
bunch of
arranged
dicks,
them. It was just crazy as how many of the wealthiest people in the world were on the Titanic. And he happened to not be on it. Because I think he arranged for them to be on it, was like the big evidence. He was like, conveniently, I'm not going.
Well, and that's the thing, though, too. The Titanic was considered unsinkable. So, I mean, even on that, there's too many holes in that conspiracy theory. I hate whoever posted that. They can fuck all the way off.
Yeah, so Morgan, so he attended the Titanic's launching and booked a personal suite aboard the ship with his own private prominent deck. He was booked for the main voyage, but he canceled last minute. So that was the big speculation of that.
So
Was he got them all to get on it, but
I
he
cancel
himself
things last
got out.
minute all the time. Shit.
But if he did, well, that's why we have the Federal Reserve Bank. It was all because of the Titanic.
Fucking Titanic. Fucking
Which,
Leonardo
regardless if that
DiCaprio.
was a conspiracy or not, I guess in a way, the Titanic sinking probably is why we have it.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes sense. I don't think it's I don't think it was something that was, conspired to make this happen. We were talking about the JFK assassination yesterday. I went out to brunch with an old friend yesterday. Right now, I'm doing what we call the Dante brunch tour. I went to brunch with my friend Chris yesterday, and we talked about the JFK assassination just randomly, and we started getting deep into the woods, and I think there's some conspiracy behind it all. There's just too much evidence saying that it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald. But I like to fuck around with people sometimes and be like, no, I believe that was just Lee Harvey. Like I believe it was him alone. I wonder if there what percentage of people out there genuinely believe that was just Lee Harvey Oswald by himself and no other interactions from anyone else. Like, I feel like our population's so dumb. I want to say it's like 40% of people believe that he acted alone. And that's just goofy. But then again, I could be the dumb one. I could be part of 60% that's fucking stupid as shit. But, yeah, the Dante Brunch Tour. Stay tuned. It continues next week. I'm going to just get drunk during the day. That's all I'm going to fucking do. I had I want to say, Orange Crushes. They were $8 a pop, I think, or something like that. And the tab came to 112. So, I don't know. That's how many I had. I was pretty fucking drunk. Well, I wasn't really, really drunk, but I was in a good spot. We sat there for a minute, and we only sat there because I had to kind of semi-sober up. Granted, I didn't drive, but I had to make sure. Look, I'm a little drunk. Are you sure you should be driving? I was like, I'm all right. We were only around the corner. I was like, okay. Then we went back, and he's got cats. I was like, cats kept trying to jump in my lap, and I just kept pushing them away. I was like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm allergic to cats, too. But I have a slow reaction to it. So I was there for hours, and finally I sneezed. It was a wrap. My eyes started watering, and oh well. I had my reaction.
Ha! Gay!
All right. So that's all I got to say about conspiracies,
That's all I gotta say about
brunch,
that.
and allergies. Are you done with that beer? Because I'm done with mine.
Yeah.
I finished mine faster because I had less to drink. Just throwing it out there. As he
Remember, this can was double.
yeah, I know. I
I
know
don't
it
feel
was.
like I had that much.
Well, I had more of the first one for sure.
So
You have
this
more
one
of this one.
is Blue Moon, but mango wheat.
It's a little different.
Yeah, and we didn't have a mango to put in our beer. Are you supposed to put a mango?
No, I don't fuck with mangoes. I just talked about it on Off the Mats today because that's how I ended up in the hospital. So I don't fuck with mangoes no more.
So we did Blue Moon regular not too long ago, and it was delicious with the orange. This one we don't have any fruit enhancements to it. You think that's like a cheat code it's almost like an enhancement.
Artificial flavor?
No, that when we add the orange, I mean that's a bonus to the beer. Like Corona with the lime. I mean, Corona with the lime is superior than just Corona. And then so they get an advantage. It's almost like a little steroid,
No, because I
Performance
think
enhancing.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like there are drinks that you need to have the fruit. That's the whole point of the drink. So I just feel like that's just part of the personality. I don't think it's a cheat code.
I feel like there's an asterisk.
Maybe.
Because if you're comparing Corona without the lime, that score is lower. Blue Moon without the orange.
But who's drinking Blue Moon and Coronas without the fruit?
Well, yeah, weirdos.
Not me. If you give me a
I
blue,
drink Corona light without the lime because,
well, there's no rule about Corona Light though.
yeah. That'd be funny. You only get half a line. All right. So, with that said, I don't know. I think I like the taste of regular Blue Moon better, but I almost
Yeah.
like this one that it's significantly not as heavy.
Yeah, there's a novelty to this. It definitely felt smoother.
I don't feel like I just drank 5,000 calories like I do with a
So
Blue
the
Moon.
taste caught me off guard at first, but that second sip I was in. I actually really enjoyed the taste of this.
Yeah, I liked it.
Um,
It's tough.
yeah, it's tough because it's like, would I put this above like the original Blue Moon?
The way I feel right now, I think I would because of the lighter factor.
That's true. Because I mean, yeah, I guess the ideal is you could drink more of these.
Because it's like, and who knows? It could be the day.
True. It's
Like
like,
this would be heavier on other days. But right now and then, if we were at the bar and I had the choice of both of them, I think I would choose this one because I can drink more of them. And by the way, it's 5.4%, which I'm pretty sure was the same as Blue Moon.
okay, so that factors. So putting this into that party beer category,
And I can real quick see where we did Blue
yeah,
Moon.
that wasn't too long ago. So, I mean,
There you are.
I feel like Blue Moon for me was like a
5.4. You
was
got
it
7.4.
7.4. Okay. That's helpful. Because I was like, shit, I thought I gave it much higher for some reason.
That was pretty high though for our party beer.
Yeah, for a
category.
party beer, I'm gonna keep it even with it. I'm gonna go 7.4 along with it.
And it's funny as I gave it a 7.5, and I'll give this a 7.5. So our scores are the same.
Yeah.
But I think if we went one extra decimal,
Yeah.
I would give it this one.
Yeah, it's like
But it's not enough to go a tenth.
this is, I think,
A hundredth
Better.
is 500ths better.
I think it's better, but it's not better enough for me to say, yeah. So
Regular Blue Moon slightly better in taste, but this is significantly taste or less filling.
yeah, it's lighter. It's much lighter. Like it just felt lighter when I picked up the glass. It was like, oh, probably because I had less.
Yeah, I feel like I could crush a few of these. Where Blue Moon, I'll be like, ugh.
I think Blue Moon I could drink, like the original Blue Moon I could drink 2. This I could probably do 3, possibly 4. What assholes walking around drinking a 6-pack of Blue Moon? Just I need to know because I want to meet
If
that
they are,
guy.
they gotta be pretty. I would think they're on the heavier side.
Just like Hefty Smurf.
Yeah,
Like that's a big boy.
like they're not. There's no thoughts of any type of calories.
A
In
fat
fact,
fuck.
the more calories, the better.
They're like, I need them all. My daughter and wife are outside looking at lightning bugs right now. Do you call them lightning bugs or fireflies?
I think more times lightning bugs.
Yeah, I think it's a regional thing. I've always called them lightning bugs no matter where I've been. I've heard firefly, but like I've always said lightning bug, but I think it's just regional. So fuck everybody who says firefly. That's from the heart.
Fireflies. What? That was their old boss drink.
Yeah.
That's what I know it is.
Like that was the easy gift. It's like
You
just
know
get
what?
a
Now
gallon
that I
of
think
that.
about it, yeah, that's the only person I know that like the. I don't think I've known anyone else that order a firefly,
No.
and I wouldn't have known what a firefly was if it wasn't for that person.
I'm gonna be honest. I still don't know what firefly is.
I think
like, to
it's
this
like
day.
a liquor iced tea.
A liqueur.
Iced tea, I believe.
Yes. You used to play with Legos as a kid?
Hell yeah, I was good at Legos.
Figured as much. So, thanks to Neps, he sent Sophie the Infinity Gauntlet Lego set. I think it was more a gift from me than the kid. Thank you, Neps. And we went to start putting it together. And this is the thing that drives me crazy. This is about to get extremely misogynistic and just really fucked up with women. This is why they're not architects.
Cis women. I'm trying to learn.
I'm not. Fuck them. Like,
I'm completely baffled of
Like-
what the issue even is.
yeah, I don't even play the game. It's like if anyone wants to play that game, I'm just leaving the room. It's like I'm gonna go ahead and walk out. I'm not having this talk.
I just want to know why.
It-
What,
it-
isn't transgender a term? Like, and so now they don't want to be called that. Is that the issue?
I don't know. So I thought it's so transvestite used to be the term. We're not allowed to say that anymore.
I just don't understand why you can't be called transgender. Then we know what you are, and it solves everything.
Trans man, trans woman.
Because
But now it's
I feel like that got pretty accepted.
So, but the thing is, it's not even about the transitioning either, though. They're just people who identify as a man or a woman, but they don't, go through the transition, so they're not considered trans.
Can't you just be what
Cross-dresser.
you are, and
It's a dude that dressed like a
got
woman.
some qualities.
This dude that got some fake titties.
But yeah, it's funny. It's real quick on your board. I see you have Special Olympics. It's like,
Oh, we're gonna
when
get
people identify those different genders and are able to compete in other sports, we're gonna start. And I say the meme of the person that wanted to identify as a blind person and took out their own eye.
Yeah, that's
so. What are we gonna start doing when people identify as Special Olympic
Trust me,
athletes to start winning medals?
Steve, you're ahead of me right now. Relax, it's on the board.
We already had a movie, so Johnny Knoxville's ahead of his time.
It's already on the board. Like, just chill. We're gonna get there. Trust me.
Great movie.
I filled out my application last week.
About to have some new records.
I'm about to come down with all types of medals. Just the wall is gonna be laced with medals for everything. Swimming. And they're like, Dante, you can't even really swim. Better than them. But no, like, so when we went to do the Legos, so when I do Legos, I like to kind of go bag by bag, when you do your set. I like to separate things. My wife and my daughter, they just dumped all this shit out on the table. It was a free-for-all. And I was like, I said to my wife, this is why y'all can't be architects. Because of shit like this. Of course, she got mad. And then my daughter goes, Father! And I was like, why do you say it that way? Like, it's so fucking weird. I say that knowing damn well I just had an architect on Off the Mats that was a female. So she's pretty fucking goddamn good at her job. But, like, I was just looking at them dump the shit out and just go from there. And it's like, how? Like, why are you so disorganized? Like, is there no order to your plan? Like, I had to, like, not separate everything, like, by piece necessarily, but I had to have some order. I can't just have all the pieces in the middle and just go rummaging through, because there were points where my daughter and I are looking for a certain piece, and she's like, I can't find it. I was like, probably because you didn't organize this rat's nest. Like, separate the things and now look. Needless to say, we're 2 bags through. There's 3 bags to the set. I'm pretty excited. My daughter's excited. There's also an additional add-on set where you can, like, so the gauntlet set originally just comes with just the pieces for the gems, but you get ones that light up. So I'm going to go ahead and splurge a little bit and get the light up gems as well. So my Infinity Gauntlet will light up. So anytime we do a Lego set, Sophie sends it down here because she's like, look, it's going to look good down here because you got all this other shit. So we're just going to add to your collection. So I'm going to put it in one of these cabinets and have the fucking joints light up just for funsies. I might, like, just sit down here in the dark and just turn the gauntlet on. Every so often, if Sarah's, like, says something.
That was just on TV the other day, and I just happened to watch it was the last scene when he makes everyone
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Dude,
I just happened to, like, I was eating dinner, I was like flipping through channels. Oh, I'll watch this part. And it's like
like, every time I see that part, my heart gets happy. When we saw that shit in theater, oh my Lord.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters too, because I mean, it was kind of a pretty decent surprise of who was going to stay and go.
There are kids.
Some of them that went, I didn't expect.
There are kids in the theater crying. There was a little kid next to me crying.
And the Spider-Man one's a shock.
Yeah, so I had one little kid a few seats down crying about Spider-Man, and the kid next to me was crying about Black Panther. He was black, just in case you were wondering.
That's rude. He doesn't care about.
He was like, fuck Spider-Man, what about T'Challa? But yeah, like, when I saw that shit,
I just can't imagine.
Like, I started
if
clapping.
that really happened, you're looking around, like, and it's just like every other person's disappearing. Fuck. When Nick Fury disappeared, that was a shock.
So that one kind of got me a little bit. Well, so, like, the lady, the mom of the kid that was crying, she's in the know. So she goes, you think we're going to see Captain Marvel in this? This was, like, kind of leading up to the end. And I says to her, I was like, probably post-credit, but I don't know, we'll see. And then when the snap happens and everything, and I nudge her, I was like, I think we're definitely going to see her in the post-credit. We have to. Like, because, what happened, you got to have someone to save the day. And we didn't necessarily see Captain Marvel, but you get the hint of Captain Marvel. And it was just one of those things where it was like, when it happened, I was so happy.
He got the old school 80s pager.
Yeah.
That was the futuristic.
Well, I mean, because that's the thing. Like, so we're watching the Secret Invasion story right now on Disney Plus. It's fine. It's basically the villains from the Captain Marvel movie, the Skrull. They are in the comics. There's a storyline where basically the Skrull who can shapeshift were impersonating a lot of the heroes of the world, and you're not going to get that in this series because budgets. But the Skrull are impersonating a lot of important political figures, and the story's kind of shaping up pretty cool. But it is one of those things where it's like, and I felt this was going to happen. It was like the Marvel overload, where we're just getting so much content now, and I was like, God, dude, like chill. Like, and it happened with Star Wars too. It was like, dude, there's so much content, yo, just chill, son. And I never thought I would ever say that, but now I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, enough. Although they did push some stuff back because Jonathan Majors, I guess, beat up some women. He's supposed to be like a major,
Did he?
Allegedly.
Were they women?
Well, I don't know.
Nowadays,
We don't
you can't
know.
get in trouble.
But he's apparently, so there's been no definitive word from Disney or Marvel to say that he is out as Kang the Conqueror. But all the movies that would have Kang the Conqueror in it and shows have been pushed back. Like, not just like, oh, pushed back a couple months. Like, we're talking about years. Like, Fantastic Four is supposed to come out on Valentine's Day of next year. Not anymore. It got pushed back a whole nother year. And Kang the Conqueror is a main villain of the Fantastic Four. So you figured that was going to be a major role. Loki was supposed to come out. Loki season 2 was supposed to come out this summer. It got pushed back to the fall, maybe something like that. So I don't know. First off, dude, that's creepy. Don't do that. Just tell me my kid is over there. You looked over there and started waving, and I was like, huh? All right, y'all. Pause. All right, motherfuckers, we back. So yeah, I just had to say goodnight to my daughter. It's fun times. She wanted to see the lightning bugs, fireflies, whatever y'all call them. So yeah, that was that. And then she got to hold my goddaughter's daughter. So she had a good time. And then she said, "What's up to Steve?" We're working on that though. She was like,
What's
"Hi,"
up?
and said, "Say what's up." I'm like, "What's up?" So we're gonna have to work on that. She's gonna put a little bass in her voice. But yeah, either way, Marvel fatigue. I'm over it. Jonathan Majors, whether he did it or didn't, they put that fucking Flash movie out. And Ezra Miller definitely kidnapped people and did some fucked up shit. But they're like, just put the movie out. And the question became like, well, is it a race thing? I don't know. I don't care. Just
some of these blockbuster movies now, we need to start doing some
background checks.
Yeah, like evaluations on are they going to commit some kind of major crime that's going to delay us from seeing our movies.
So the whole thing with Ezra Miller, like, I only know him from a couple things. The Stanford prison experiment, and we need to talk about Kevin.
Was he in some kind of comedy?
I'm sure he was.
I feel like I've
Yes,
seen
he was in something. I know
some silly movie.
I can picture the poster. I don't know the name of the movie is though. And I think that's where he got his shine from. That's where he landed on everyone's radar. But watching him in that movie, we need to talk about Kevin. I knew right from then. That was the first time I ever saw him in anything. And he was already a star by this point, but I saw the movie years later. I was like, that guy's a problem. Because he's playing that role of this fucking psychopath too well. Like, too well. And then you come to find out, he's a wild dude. But, people want to make it out to this whole, well, his movie got released, but they're going to take, Jonathan Majors out of his movies. Like, well, why take him out of his movies? And the thing is, because the Jonathan Majors stuff hasn't actually happened, as far as the movies, they haven't been filmed yet. Whereas The Flash was already filmed, and they were set to release it, but guess what? Ezra Miller's not going to be in another fucking DC movie. Part of it is they're redoing everything anyway. They're wiping the slate clean, number one. But number two, like, yeah, he's a psychopath. So I was like, yeah, we can't have this guy here. I mean, we already got Ben Affleck. Like, why we want to have two psychopaths?
Ben's put in check nowadays.
Yeah,
He doesn't look too happy.
yeah. He was at the fucking awards with J Lo. He was like, he looked miserable. J Lo was having a good time. He was like, what? Why am I here? I was like, oh, because she's got a fat ass. That's why. Fuck. I was like, well, at the very least, she'll give me a hand job later. Maybe. But
No,
she,
but
she
she's
is-
not doing anything for Ben. She's
No, not her.
I'll let you
Yeah.
do this to me.
She's pretty fucking hot though, dude. I don't know. I'd probably take it. Like, I never really like identified as like, oh, the guy that likes like Hispanic chicks. But then I started like looking around, like,
I identify as the guy. Is that how you identify now? I never. Well, you don't identify as the guy that likes Spanish chicks. Well, you're the.
like,
I think you identify as the guy that likes white chicks.
no, I'm the guy that likes vagina. Like, I just like chicks. It's like,
See, maybe that's what people are gonna say in such. Like you're straight. You're like I'm the guy that I identify as the guy that likes vagina.
yeah, like I identify as like this, and that's what it's gonna be. I mean, look, man,
Maybe that's what everyone should identify as.
what they like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I identify as the guy that likes vagina. I
Maybe.
identify as the girl that likes
Vagina.
vagina.
Like those
And
my
we're
kind
like, oh, we're friends.
of my kind of girls. Yeah, dude. Like, man, every time I meet a lesbian, we become good friends. Like, speaking of lesbians, Winter is next on my brunch tour, so I'm gonna have brunch with Winter, which that really just means getting drunk during the day. I was trying to get her to do a Saturday, but she wanted to do a Sunday. It's not as much fun on a Sunday.
No, Saturday's way.
Saturday's better because I could go to jail and still be out in time to be at work on Monday. Sunday it's a little tricky. I can still go to jail and still be out in time, but it's a little tricky. You got to negotiate some things. Got to maneuver times. We'll figure it out. But now Winter, like the last time I had brunch with Winter, it was pretty tamed. We had a few drinks, and then we had tacos. And it was like, well, I ate one taco. I was like, this shit is trash. And I just brought the rest home for Sarah. I was like, here, take this trash. Be
Do
the
you remember where
garbage.
you went? Was it Poppy's?
I don't remember what it
Was
was.
it in Fells?
Was it in Fells? Yes, it was in Fells.
Maybe Poppy's because their tacos are like they have the authentic and a lot of. If you like more American style, that's not your
Yes.
style.
Well, no, they like there's some like fucking sauce on it that wasn't filling. Like the rest of it, I was like, oh, this seems like it should be good. I ate the one. I was like, I feel like it should be good, but really, I'm just here for the beer. I was like, I don't want the rest of this stuff. This is trash.
I love Poppy's and Fells. It's because they do have. I do tend to like a lot of the Mexican beers. They usually have some kind of cheap tequila on special. I'm not a fan of the taste of the cheap tequila, but I'm a fan of cheap tequila when I'm out.
It's there to do a job,
You
Steve.
chase it. You chase it with your beer and you're good. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm a fan. And then thirdly, they give you free chips and salsa. Any place that gives it to you for free, that's bonus points.
Where did I go recently? I ate all the chips. I don't normally eat chips and salsa, but this time I ate it all. It was in over by you, on the border. We went there just randomly. And so I was like, Sophie likes going to Mexican restaurants, so let's go there. We're in Colombia for something, I think.
There's a new. Have you been to the place near the mall now? The Meriwether District, I think it's called. There's all these. It's a crazy ass area. So all these new restaurants, but there's one of my favorite places before in Fells Point. You might have been there. Banditos. It's a Mexican place, but they used to be known because they served one of the many places that had the 32-ounce beers. Anyways, they opened a Banditos in Colombia. Actually, looks like a pretty good spot to watch football in when it's football season.
We'll investigate. Speaking of Meriwether, Garbage is going to be there on July 13th. I was trying to secure us.
Oh man, that's soon.
I was trying to secure it, but Sarah has to work. Because they're like lawn tickets is $90 in total for a package of 4, and I was like, oh, I can get us 4. And then I texted her. I was like, yo, are you working on the 13th? She's like, yes. And she was like, why? And I told her why. She was like, well, who are you going to take? I was like, well, I was going to pawn the kid off on someone. We were going to go. No, I wasn't. I was like, yo, Steve, what you doing? Trying to go see Garbage. It's Garbage and
Oh, I would have at least liked the opportunity to just ask man to go see Garbage. I'm really confused.
like God, dude, it was
What do
funny
you mean
'cause-
Garbage?
we were talking about it, and Sarah's like, she was
I
like,
could
well,
see her liking garbage though. By the way,
she was like, well, I only really know, one or two of their songs, the ones that were the radio hits. I was like, well, yeah, that's most people.
that's every band.
Yeah.
Most groups, if you got more than 3 radio hits, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think Garbage had. Well, they had Only Happy When It Rains and Stupid Girl were the 2 big hits. Then they had When I Grow Up, and there was one other off that second album that was pretty big. I just can't think of it now, but like the 2 off the first album were like their big ones that everyone knew. But it's like that first album. Their first album is like one of the only albums that I have in my collection I know I can listen to from beginning to end without skipping a song. And that's why I was like, well, look, I still kind of keep tabs on them because I follow Garbage and Shirley Manson. So I'm like, okay, like, that'd be an interesting show to go to. Plus the tickets, dude. You can't beat that price. Well, and not even just lawn seat. That's like 4 tickets for the lawn seat. Like, you have to buy it in a package of 4. Or you can get a seat closer and it's like 28. I was like, that's not hateful at all. It's like,
That's good for Meriwether.
I think the lawn seats, like the 90, they're like, if you do the math, you put it's like 22 each. I was like, I mean, I can make it happen. But now I'm like, no, I'm sad. Because I was like, I got to work. I was like, I might ask my goddaughter to babysit. I'll let Sarah go to work and then call Elena and then go to the show. I mean, it might be a little late by that point, but still. Then Sarah texts me like, hey, how are things? They're fine. Everything's fine. And then I come back, she comes on the next day like, did you go somewhere last night? No. Me? No, I didn't go. No. Why would I go anywhere last night?
You ever seen that meme of Beetlejuice? Me? Nah.
Well, she was talking about, because it's on a Thursday night. And she was like, that's weird, it's on a Thursday night. I was like, most shows that I've ever gone to have been on like a Thursday night, or Wednesday or Thursday nights. Like, then she was saying, well, let's look up and see if there's anything else coming to Meriwether that, we might want to go to. And I looked, there's like nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And it's not even like I think it's trash. It's just, it's not artists that I'm into. There's like a few country artists coming up, a few tours coming up. Like
I think there's a reggae one coming.
Yeah. It was like, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I was just like, nah, we're good. I don't know. It's like I want to go to something, but I don't know. I have to figure my life out. Like, there's got to be something around. But yeah.
That makes me want to check around of everything. But yeah, the last Meriwether show I've been to might have been the Flaming Lips when I went by myself.
Oh, Meriwether. I was like, I went to Flaming Lips. Oh,
Yeah,
that was out at
Ram's Head. No,
Fillmore.
that was a very memorable show. And the last show I went to, obviously, was the Jedi Mind Tricks. And that's my kind of show, like the club show. And
Yeah.
I haven't come across any in our area in a while. Because I love the Fillmore and the 930 Club. Oh, I think
the
I
930
read
Club.
something. The 930 Club opened a venue in Florida. And are calling it the 930 Club.
That has nothing to do with me here. I'm worried
So
about
watch
here.
when you get your tickets, though. You're like,
Yeah,
like,
true.
like so-and-so's coming to 930 Club. I got tickets. This shit's in
In Florida.
Florida.
Fuck.
Showing up in line for the wrong show.
So, July 1st has come and gone. You know what happened on July 1st, correct?
We can now buy chizzies, right?
Fucking right, doggy. So there, I didn't save the post, but there was kind of like basically breaking out all the rules of. It is very simplistic stuff. They write it out in a way where it doesn't seem simple. But it's very simple. Just don't be a dickhead. So you can't smoke out in public is one of the laws.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you can't. So what are you?
So
Do you have to be indoors?
you would have to be indoors, but the thing is, you can buy it. You can buy it now. You can go home and smoke your shit. You cannot.
I guess in your backyard is fine.
Maybe depend on your neighbors. if your neighbor's a narc,
That's
maybe
weird.
not.
That,
But you can't be like just walking the street and smoking weed. You can't be driving and smoking. Which I'm actually in favor of that. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, we were talking about this earlier. I hate the smell of cigarette smoke and weed smoke. Like, now if I have to choose one over the other, I'm gonna choose weed smoke. But I think smoking in general is just a fucking gross thing.
I'm kind of surprised it can't be like cigarettes though. Like you have your designated area
So
in terms of going out.
I thought it would be that way as well, but yeah, they're like, hold on, let me see if I can find that.
Like
that
I can
post.
get, you can't just pull it out in the middle of the bar. But if they had a section, so I feel like
Hold on, I got
that
you.
if it's recreational, that is a recreational time to do it.
So the recreational part kind of more so pertains to the fact that you can buy it now without going to jail. So what are the rules for marijuana in Maryland starting July 1st? Using Section 1. Maryland's new law has also prohibited specific locations from smoking cannabis, and public places are one of them. Smoking cannabis in a public place is considered a civil offense and could be penalized by up to $50 fine for a first offense, Maryland law said. Drivers smoking in a vehicle is also prohibited.
That makes sense, that one.
Yeah. Growing. For those looking to grow their own, Maryland law said adults will be allowed to grow up to 2 plants that are out of public view and secured so they are not accessible by unauthorized individuals or those under the age of 21. Now, what I get from that is just basically don't be a dickhead about growing your weed. You're not going to fucking, make a fucking garden in the backyard of weed. Don't do it. Selling. Although you can possess, grow, and share certain amounts of cannabis, Maryland law says you cannot sell it without the proper licensing. So that confused Sarah. She was very confused. She was like, what does that mean? I was like,
Basically, they want to tax it.
yeah, you have to be a store. You have to be a dealer. You can't be a drug
That's
dealer
the same
on the
as
street.
alcohol. Technically, you
Yeah.
can't sell alcohol.
According to Maryland law, selling without a license is classified as a criminal misdemeanor and punishable by up to 3 years in prison. I had a whole lot to say about that, but we'll move on. Possession. People 21 years and older can possess the following amounts starting July 1st. Up to 1.5 ounces of cannabis. It's a pretty hefty amount. Up to 12 grams of concentrated cannabis. So oils, I guess. Cannabis products containing up to 750 milligrams of Delta-9 THC. And up to 2 cannabis plants.
Are you going to carry plants on you?
Yeah, that's wild. He's just walking around. What you got on?
Pull out your trench coat.
I got this plant, son.
But it's just one.
Trying to buy it. Expungement. For those looking to get a previous marijuana possession charge expunged, you are in luck. Although the expungement can happen, Maryland law says it is not automatic. The new law allows individuals convicted of marijuana possession to request an expungement after the successful completion of the sentence, Maryland law said. So basically, if you're in jail for weed possession, you got to finish that sentence out. Then you can get it erased from your record, though, so you can't, be denied work. Sharing. That's another section. Adults can also now share cannabis with friends, as long as it is not transactional, Maryland law says. The amount of cannabis shared must not exceed the amount defined as personal use, and no money can be exchanged for the cannabis.
So you're
Transfer,
allowed to pass it to the left-hand side.
but can't get any money passed back, though. That's the trick. Transfer of amount is in excess of the personal use amount, or accepting payment for transferred amounts may qualify as possession with the intent to distribute. So basically, don't be an idiot. You can smoke weed. You can actually probably sell it too. Just don't get caught.
Yeah,
So-
I wonder if people where that was their primary way of getting money, selling weed. Now you can buy it at the store. From what I understand, if you have a medical marijuana card, you're taxed less. You pay a little bit more tax if you don't have the card. I feel like the tax, I think someone told me it was 8%. I mean, whatever.
For with the card or without.
I think without.
That's not
Yeah,
hateful.
it's just like
That's fine.
whatever.
I'm alright with that.
But yeah, I'm more shocked though, like that you can't be out and there's like a designated area. Well, okay, so it's saying public. So if there's a private bar, like they have cigar bars.
So I
like,
think
are they
that's
gonna have,
something-
like, cannabis bars.
I think that might be something down the line that might come about. But I can understand why not in public, just because you can't get someone high. And jobs aren't necessarily saying, hey, that's not on the drug test. So if it's not like a simple like walk by, you sniff, and then you get high, or
Yeah, I mean, I can see you
get
can't
it.
walk, just straight up walk down the street, but I feel like it's almost like cigarettes. Bars should maybe have a spot they can go to because some people maybe don't want to drink and just want to do that.
So I think also too, it's kind of like, so cigarettes kind of get grandfathered in because they've been around for so long, so they kind of get the free pass. Whereas weed is the new kid on the block, and they're like, well, look, these are the rules that we should have had in place for cigarettes too. But since they're already out and about in the open, we're not going to be able to stop anyone. So many people already fucking do it. So we may as well just keep that as is. But this new shit, these are the rules. You can't just be walking around the street. And I'm going to be honest, to some degree, it's like, look, I got a fucking alcohol citation in D.C. Fuck y'all. If I can't drink a shorty in the middle of D.C.,
Wasn't the same day though we
Yeah,
saw someone
yeah.
walking down the street smoking a joint?
I just saw, but I smelled that. That shit was clear as day. I'm pretty sure while I was fucking signing my citation, somebody walked by smoking weed. Because I remember laughing about it, like, wow, this shit is crazy. I'm getting an alcohol citation. Somebody's smoking weed right now. It's like, that's goofy to me.
Yeah, we should have been able to explain. Like, you know, the prices in the Verizon Center, right? It's $18 a beer.
Yo. Oh, shit. I forgot. I went to Orioles game up in the suite, son.
Nice.
What you know what's wild about it? So we're going up in the suite, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, wow!" It was a little suite, very tiny, smaller than this room. This room's not huge, but I would say if we cut off this section where we're recording at, it's about that. No, actually, much smaller. So the exercise area right there. That's what the size of the suite. That's not counting the outside deck. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! This is so nice!" And it was nice. It was very pleasant. And people are like, they're turning to each other. Have you been in a suite? Have you been in a suite? And they turn to me. Have you been in a suite? And I was like, no, I've never been in a suite before. I don't know what this life is like. And in my mind, I was like, amateurs, come on, son. Like, I used to live in a fucking suite. Get the fuck out my face. Like, we used to rig the fucking the fucking drawings to go to the goddamn suite every week. Get out my face, whore. But it was fun. It was nice. Went to see the Orioles. Who'd they play? I don't know. Mariners. I wasn't there for the game.
Yeah, I don't think the last few baseball games I've seen any of the game.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we went. Or no, we
No.
didn't go together, but we met up, right?
No, we met at Ravens game. I haven't been to an Orioles game in a
Oh
while.
yeah, that was a Ravens game. But we went. I got it confused because we went to the bar.
Yeah, we went to Pickles after. Yeah, I mean, we should go to a baseball game. I mean, just fucking go have some fun.
Apparently, the Orioles are significantly better.
They are, but the tickets are still cheap as fuck. I was looking at the on the TV screen
There's too many freaking games.
in the suite. They're like tickets starting at $10. I was like, bet.
It's funny. Basketball's much more popular right now, but
Yeah.
I know more people that follow. Like, I just don't come across anyone that watches basketball really. Besides, there's like one guy at my work, and I'm like, I know 3 people that watch baseball, so 3-1.
It's weird because I don't really know anyone that follows baseball except for my one friend Chris. And it's funny because his son I think is 22 now, and it's just crazy to see that kid grow up. And it's like we're sitting there talking about rock climbing, and like it's just interesting hearing him talk. I was like, oh my god, I remember you were like a little kid. You're like, you didn't know shit, and now here you are teaching me about rock climbing. But we're at the game, and you could tell, like, he's interested because his dad is interested, but he does not care about baseball. But that's always been kind of like a family tradition. Like his granddad, his dad. It was just kind of a family thing. And the thing about it is, even with me there, I was having a good time. But it was like, I'm not here for the game. But the funny thing is, so it goes to extra innings. I was supposed to record Saturday night with Maryland Phil. I told him, I was like, look, we're in the 8th inning right now, and the O's are up. So I should be home very, very soon. He was like, okay, cool. They bring in their closer. This dude's a beast. Striking the first 2 out, and then he gets to the 3rd one. First pitch, home run. I was like, oh, fuck. Now it's 4-4. It's like, shit, we're going to extra innings. I was like, God damn it. But it wasn't too long because I guess the new rule in baseball for extra innings is you start with a person. Once you go to the 10th inning, so I guess extras basically, you start with a man on second.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but I like that.
Yeah. So, you're not going to have those fucking 8-hour games anymore. There is the potential of that dude getting home. So,
Ooh, that's interesting on betting.
meh.
That makes me want to bet the overs on these games more.
Yeah.
So if you're in extra
You
innings,
saw your addiction just perk up real quick. It's like, ooh.
this is like a gambler's advantage.
So I went out onto the deck because everybody's out there now watching the game, and the top of the 10th, Orioles, take them down in 3, and then I think it might have been first up to bat, crank a home run. And everyone out there on the deck is going crazy. They're happy. They're like high-fiving. And my buddy's uncle turns to me, and you can tell I'm like clapping, but he wanted to like give me a high five, and I was just like, nah, I'm not the one. Like, I don't care. I'm just here to support my friend. And don't get me wrong, I like the Orioles. I like the Orioles fans. Then the funny thing is, Orioles fans are typically Ravens fans. I don't like Ravens fans, but I love Orioles fans. They're really, really cool. They're really, really nice. But when it comes to football, all of a sudden they become cunts. They become crybabies. And it's like, I got to stab one of you.
The Ravens fans you're talking about, they go to Orioles on opening day. Those are the ones
That's
at
true.
Pickles Bar.
True.
Getting
Well, because
sloppy.
it's just about the event. All right, what we got here?
This was significantly better than I was expecting.
It's a different one.
You've liked victory. This is like our 5th victory. It's not as strong as the typical victories we've been doing. I like the taste on this.
That's
one.
all right. That's all right. I like it. I'm into
It's
this.
a good summer beer.
Oh, that's what it's called, Summer Love.
I love the summer love.
Me too. Like, except for when like you're fucking in a car, you gotta have the windows out, mosquitoes get in there.
Not outside.
Like-
In the summer, whew, it's so humid.
I mean, sometimes you gotta live
Yeah,
wild.
but then it's just
Gotta
that
live
feeling
wild, so-
afterwards.
gotta live
would be
wild.
so nasty. Ugh.
I don't feel nasty afterwards. After I get that nut, I'm like, oof, woo. Like then I say to her, like, so how you getting home? I hope you get an Uber out here in the middle of
I'm
nowhere.
hungry. Could go make a sandwich.
Like, well, you gonna make me a sandwich now? We are in the middle of nowhere. I guess you're getting an Uber now. See ya. Now this is solid. I like it. What was I looking at here on this list? Oh, Special Olympics. So I watched the Special Olympics on ESPN the other day because of my job. I figured, like, let me check it out. Let me check it out. I was watching. So it was called hockey. It was field hockey. Because when I saw hockey, I was like, yo, they got these motherfuckers on ice skates. I got to see this. Then it turned out to be field hockey, and I was a lot more disappointed. And it's funny watching it, though, because it's like, I get it, Like, they were skilled. And, when we think about Special Olympics, it's not like, oh, this guy's like full-blown, has full-blown Down syndrome. Like, it's not like that. But it's like you do have individuals who, like the dude that I provide care for, like, he's very intelligent. And, like, playing basketball, he has a good shot. Like would I trust him to be on my team, and on a fast break? Probably not. But I would, that mid-range, he's got it. I'm like, yo, take that shot, son. And even like we're throwing the football around, he doesn't have a bad arm. I was like, holy shit, like, maybe, you are something special. He bowls like a fucking maniac. He's fucking good at bowling. So it's like, oh my God, I'm about to put this dude out there and make some money off him. Like, I know it fucking sounds horrible, but it's not like, yo, the rent is high. Well, the mortgage is high. Like, gas is high. Eggs, I think, is still high. So, I got to make this money somehow, right? This extra scratch on the side. But I watched the Special Olympics. It was fun, which leads me into my movie. I watched The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville. And what's funny is I think the movie itself does still hold up. I think it aged well because it wasn't a bastardized bastardization. We'll say that it didn't bastardize, the special needs group. The only thing I did not like, and this is more of a modern thing, is like the individuals, like they had some individuals in there that were special needs, but they're also just regular actors playing the role of someone with special needs. Specifically, the black dude, he was in Barbershop. It was like, oh, that dude ain't got an extra chromosome.
Oh, he wasn't special needs in real life?
Nah, he's just a good actor.
Why did he win an award for that? Because I was convinced.
Because look, you know why he didn't win a reward? Because you never go full mentally ridiculous.
Jimmy. But yeah, he seemed like even his character, he didn't have
Which one, the black
as
dude?
much, handicap.
I'm gonna say this just because of it's because I also know that I've seen him in other stuff, but also just where I work now is like seeing it now is like, oh yeah, you can tell that dude's not on the level. And then there's another dude also there's two others, so there's three of them that was very clearly not. And then there's one specifically you know for sure was the one who had the CD. He's like, scratch, you scratch my CD, like he was, but all the others were not. And then the one dude, when they're like out at the movies and they come back and the guy goes, yeah, I took them all out for ice cream, and the guy goes, when the fuck did we get ice cream? He's definitely not. But that shit is one of my favorite lines of any movie, because it's just like out of the blue, just, when the fuck did we get ice cream? And they start talking about other shit. Like he starts turning to all the other ones like, did you get ice cream? Was I asleep? Like, hey, are we gonna get that ice cream now? Like that shit still gets me every time. But watching the movie, it still holds up. It's fun. Like I said, the only thing that bugged me is like knowing now just my profession is like, all right, y'all could have got some others that are in that pocket. Now there is a movie out that just came out recently with Woody Harrelson called The Champions, and you can see that everyone that they hired, they are special needs. I'm pretty sure that's not the term we're supposed to use, but that's what I'm going with until somebody corrects me. And if you correct me, fuck you. So how about that? But yeah, I enjoyed it. At first, I didn't enjoy it. I was kind of pissed, but I was being like a housewife, like a middle-aged housewife. I was pissed, for them. Like, how dare you? And then I watched it and laughed. I was like, never mind.
Yeah, I think you gotta remember it's a comedy. Remember that it's.
But the thing is, it's a comedy, but it's a comedy at someone's expense. But then you have to also look at it too. It's a comedy at a group of people's expense to a degree, but it's also kind of poking fun at Johnny Knoxville's character as well. There's a lot of red tape there to kind of get through. So it's like,
So definitely it's a bold movie to me.
yes, for sure. But if there was anyone else going to fucking make that movie, it's that fucking lunatic. So there was, I guess, some kind of training at work recently. I wasn't part of it because I guess I wasn't there yet. They were talking about a list of movies. I guess that kind of delves into the individuals that we work with. And I was looking at the list and I was like, you know what? I actually might look at some of these movies. Some of them are like movies we know. They're like Hollywood movies anyway. Like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. That's a big one. Johnny Depp.
Right? Didn't what's his name? Sean Penn play?
So I Am Sam. So, and I'm surprised that was on this list. I think this was on that list because he fucked a prostitute. So they're like, yeah, we're not gonna put that one on there. And Rain Man's probably not on there because it promotes gambling. But yeah, Forrest Gump should be on there, but I guess because he fucked Jenny and she had AIDS. So, like, she's the greatest villain in cinema history, yo. She's horrible, yo. Jenny's trash, yo. Like, fuck anyone who's like, yo, that's wild too, because she was married to Sean Penn.
There you go. Sean Penn just seems like a really wild dude in real life.
Yo, Sean Penn, yo, he
seems like if you're at the bar, he's gonna outdrink you. Like,
not only outdrink you, he might fight with you. He's not gonna fight you, but he'll fight with you. Like,
I think like there's a good chance he's gonna pick a fight with you, but also if you get in a fight though, he definitely had like he's
for
got your back for sure.
That's your dude. So there's What's Eating Gilbert Grape, starring Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like the only
Never
scene,
seen it, but I know what it is.
only scene I remember is like him being in the bathtub. He's like, I could have drowned, could have drowned. It's like, how do you know what drown is? And then Benny and June, which also stars Johnny Depp. I did not know that was one of those films. This film called The Other Sister, which I do want to check that out. I've heard of it. I want to check it out. So I'm surprised Nell wasn't on there with Jodie Foster. Maybe that's not in the same pocket, but whatever. Then there's some documentaries that I'm going to check out. But I'm enjoying my job, and it's making me want to investigate and just dig more into stuff, and just kind of move forward with just because I initially applied for a different position, and they okie dokie. I was like, yeah, that's not available, but you could apply for this. You think you'd be interested in this? I was like, yeah, for sure. I took a chance, and I like it. And now kind of digging around at work is like, oh, now I can kind of get my way into that position now from here. So I'm going to take those next steps and try to go into being a job coach there. So, making moves, baby, making moves. Now I'm going to watch some movies with some people that are mentally ridiculous and, learn a little bit more. Watch What's Eating the Gilbert Grape. I always make fun of that movie because there was an SNL skit. It was like, talk about what's eating Gilbert Grape. I was like, I don't know, but I can tell you who's not seeing Gilbert Grape. And I always found that funny. And now I'm like, man, that's kind of fucked up. Now I'm going to watch the movie and not try to judge it. I think Sarah's watched it. She really likes it. So I guess I'll fucking watch the fucking movie.
Love Johnny Depp.
It was Leonardo DiCaprio too, like a little retarded.
Oh, double.
Little retarded Leo.
Oh, damn, double heartthrobs in that movie.
Yeah,
dang, that's pretty bad. Like that casting director couldn't get some.
Oh, who else was in that? What's her name? Juliette Lewis was in it. Yeah, that's a cast, dude. Like that. Yeah, well, like that's a lot of like good actors. I think. I don't know, but then again, too, people do that thing. It's like, oh, it's got a lot of names, and I want to say, do you see? It's like, oh my god, it's dog shit. So, but yeah, that was that for my movie. I ain't really got much more to say.
I wrote just one, but I just remembered I've watched Coming to America 2 this week.
Oh, really?
And it was better than I was
First time?
expecting. Yeah. It's not like as nearly as good as the first one, but I enjoyed it. Considering it's 30, no, how many
40,
years later?
almost 40 years.
God damn. So the characters, they're not obviously that much older in the movie because they'd be friggin' dead, elderly. Even though they are in real life. But
yeah.
Eddie Murphy looks significantly younger than his age right now. But it was, I mean, it's for, I think, that type of movie, you want to throw in all the nostalgia factors. So putting in the barbershop, putting in the old look of everything being the same. It's a decent free movie.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Decent free movie. I have not actually heard any good comments about the movie, unfortunately. I haven't seen it yet. Because I was explaining this yesterday to my friend Chris. It's like, it's hard to keep up because there's so much content now. It's like you have to really prioritize what you're watching.
I remember hearing about it. Then when it popped up, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that they were going to do this. Yeah. Is it a great movie? No, but it's... it got nothing better to do. It passes time well.
So, and I think that's the weird thing too. Is like, if you got nothing better to do, and it's like, I always feel like I say that about a lot of movies. And I feel like when I have nothing better to do, I just rewatch something that I enjoyed before. And I know for me, watching a lot of horror movies for the podcast, that becomes kind of the priority now. It's like, let me just go ahead and sit down and watch a fucking trunk of horror movies. And then it's like, you get this fucking feeling like, yo, I'm missing out on some other shit, though. There's a lot of good movies out, and we're missing. And Oppenheimer. Is it Oppen or Open? I think it's Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer sounds right.
Yeah, we'll go with Oppenheimer. That's coming out next week, I think. So is the Barbie movie. Same
I
day.
remember who's in the Barbie movie?
Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah, Margot Robbie. 'Cause
That's the only reason I'd see it, but I'm not going to the theater for it.
the Barbie.
Like, I'd see it.
The other movie I saw was The Mule. Clint Eastwood. He's got that old school, old guy, blue collar, old school value character down pat. Basically, he's like someone who kind of is obsessed with his job because his job, I think he grows flowers or something. They don't go too far into that.
Gay.
So something, but he goes to these conventions all the time. Basically, he was more involved with his work than his family because it was kind of like hanging out with his friends, and then he was good at his job. But he saw it as he was providing, for his family, but he just wasn't there, in person. Find it more. So whatever. I think his daughter doesn't talk to him or something because he missed like her wedding and blah blah blah. Now it's way in the future. He's an old guy. I think he gets laid off. Something. Somehow he gets involved with. He's basically like, hey, I think he goes to some wedding, and someone's like, hey man, you want to make a few extra dollars? You just got to drive. He's like, I think at his age, he doesn't have a skill set to get another job. So he's like, yeah, he tries it out. Basically, they kind of imply, like, don't look at what you're driving, just drive it. And he does it, and he starts getting paid a lot of money. So basically, he's the mule, Obviously, he's carrying drugs. But it's a typical, it's right on the lines of Gran Torino. He comes around at his old age to realize what he'd done wrong in the past, and he's a good drug runner. But at some point, like he disappears. We don't need to talk more about it. It's a good movie, but it's a typical elderly Clint Eastwood movie. Plays kind of like that similar character. He does it very well, though.
Do you think Clint Eastwood gets kind of that legacy pass where we've known him for such good movies in the past? There's like, you see him in a movie now, it's like, oh, it's Clint Eastwood. We'll check it out.
I mean, I think he gets a lot of people that check him out. So, I feel like the ones he's directed, I don't know that there's any I disliked.
Yeah, I think, anything I've seen him direct, I've thought was pretty good.
Yeah, we were joking off air of just like what it's like to direct when you're starring yourself as well.
Double pay, baby.
Yeah, does he get paid double, one? Or does he negotiate himself? Like, I really want this guy, Clint Eastwood, to play the main character. But he's only going to do it for $80 million.
He's reading the script. He's like,
but trust me, he's the best one.
He's like, who could do this better than me? No one. I'm better.
When he was young in the cowboy movies, the thing Clint Eastwood did better than anyone. He did the lip
the scowl.
The squinty eyes. I remember as a kid thinking the squinty eyes was cool, and I just realized, damn, I got wrinkles on my head. Damn.
It's weird, like looking at like actors that we grew up with, and I mean, technically when we were kids, Clint Eastwood was old, technically, but he wasn't old.
Yeah, now what is he now? Like 80? He's about 90.
Got to be 80. He's got to be able to run for president by now. like something like that.
It's funny as all his older characters too. Like he says some borderline racist stuff, or no, he does some very racist stuff actually, but he doesn't know any better. Like he doesn't mean to. It's just like because he's old, he gets away with it. But it's like, why do you put this in all your movies? Are you trying to say something?
That's another thing too. Well, he is like a super Republican, so I don't know. Take that for what it is. But there is kind of that thing too, where people are like, old people say racist shit, and they're like, oh, well, they're from a different time, and it's like, and like racism is still racism, bitch. Like you can't just run around calling people the N-word. Like that's just not okay. I think like my one friend, he's like his grandma called the blacks the coloreds, and it's like, I mean, that's not terrible, but it's not okay.
Yeah, we have a friend whose wife said that. And we're like
Coloreds?
shocked. Yeah, we're like, you can't say that. Why? Like that's really bad to say.
Holy shit!
Especially at your
He's
age.
93.
Holy crap! Wow.
God damn. All right, well, good for him.
Damn.
Like, dude,
He's-
good for that guy. Good for I'm proud of him, man.
Yeah. When was his last movie? I feel like it's not that
The
long
Mule.
ago. Was it The Mule?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Mule, dude. Like, I'm certain of it. I say it as if I know for a fact, but I haven't heard of anything else. So, let's see here. Let me go. Let's see if I can find a list real quick. Like, I think his son should be the next Wolverine, but that's just my opinion. God damn, his Wikipedia page is long as fuck. Let's get out of here.
He's got to be up there for most movies.
Let's see here. 2018 was the Mule, and he just turned 93, actually. So
So The Mule is, well, I guess we don't know when it was filmed.
yeah. So I mean, he's
Probably
for
in
sure-
his 80s, for sure.
For sure in his 80s. I wish I could get this put in like order. Okay, no, Cry Macho, 2021.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
So I heard it, but it was like I didn't hear a lot. I just heard I heard the name and was like, but nothing like that stood out about it. So
Yo, it's like he's like the, we used to have in the 90s, the rapper and producer. He made the beat and
I'm like looking at his filmography. This dude, yeah.
like, I mean, look how many hit movies he has in his late years. Like, I can think of Gran Torino, Gone, Baby Gone. I think he directed both of those.
Yeah. So let's see here. Anything after in the 2000s. So let's go. Gran Torino, The Mule, Cry Macho, $1 Million Baby,
Oh, yeah.
American Sniper. Let's see here. The Trouble with the Curve. Mystic River, 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Space Cowboys, I remember that. 2000, just made the cutoff. Richard Jewell, 2019. Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. Invictus, 2009. Changeling, I didn't know that. 2008. Flags of Our Fathers, 2006. 2002 was Bloodwork. And J. Edgar, 2011. So, I think these were all films that he appeared in.
I think I said Gone, Baby Gone, but I meant $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. And what's funny is like when you said "Gone Baby Gone," I was like, "Yeah, you're right," because like I knew there was baby in there. It's like, but yeah, it was $1 Million Baby. But yeah, good for him. I'm proud of him. I'm super proud of him.
He should run for president.
Yeah, I mean he's old enough.
He doesn't look like he. Well, actually, he does look like he would fall down.
I don't know that he should be president. I don't think he likes black people. I just get a feeling he doesn't like black people. He was born in 1930. I got a feeling. Just got a feeling. I mean, my grandma was born in 1930 also. Like, she married a white dude. So, I don't think she liked black people.
He does look like he would say the term colored.
I think he would say more than colored.
I think he knows better now.
I know better or not. I think he strikes me as the guy. So one other thing I watched just on a random after I got home from the baseball game. Actually, I watched this George Michael documentary on Peacock, and it was like really. I thought it was gonna be like maybe 40 minutes long. It was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. It was really fucking good. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a big George Michael fan. Like I love that dude's music. And just watching the documentary talk about, when his career started. So there's another documentary coming up on Netflix called Wham, talking about when he was in Wham. And I think that's what it's supposed to specifically just focus on, is just that. And, a lot of people are talking about that. So I think that's going to bigger push because it's on Netflix. But this one that was on Peacock, it went into details. It went into, starting the career with Andrew Ridgeley and starting Wham. Now, one thing it didn't really clarify is when the breakup happened, because on their big album called "Make It Big," that's the one with all the hits. "Wake Me Up Before You Go," "Everything She Wants," "Careless Whisper." The big thing was "Careless Whisper" on that album said Wham featuring George Michael. And it was really odd because he's part of Wham. That just didn't make sense. But that was like kind of the first time he did a feature by himself. It was him alone. Andrew was not back up. It was just George Michael. Shortly after that, he started making appearances by himself without Andrew. He just started getting more and more, like more George, less Andrew, less Wham. I know at some point, I think Andrew originally went on to become a Formula One driver, or at least he had an interest in it, and he was aspiring to do so. Whether he became an actual competitive driver or not, I don't know, but I know they showed some footage on VH1 at one point. I was like, oh, okay, there he goes. He's balding. He's losing his hair. That's why George Michael left him. Like, bitch, we're supposed to be fucking heartthrobs. Where your fucking hair at, son? Like, you better shave that shit. But, they went into, that, solo career when he started doing music by himself with Faith. He did an interview because some guy was like chewing him out about the lyrics for I Want Your Sex. And the guy was really giving him a hard time. He was like, what? There's nothing wrong with it. Like, sex is natural, sex is fun. Everybody's done it, everybody should have. It's like, and? What do you want from me? It's true. It's not like I'm telling kids to go have sex. But when people are old enough to have sex, yes, people want to do it. So go do it. And it was just this guy was like trying to make him the butt of a joke or something. And George was like, bitch, fuck out of here. But he handled things kind of like, the one thing I always kind of call back to when it comes to the ideal of embarrassment is Madonna. When she made it big and then her nude photos came out and ended up in Penthouse, I think. And I want to say it was Kurt Loder. It was he's kind of a cock. So I'm going to say it was Kurt Loder. But someone from MTV tried to, put her on blast about it. And she goes, so what? Because that's really the only response you can give it. Like, what are you going to get uncomfortable and bashful? Like, no. So what? I was fucking naked. And that's kind of how he handled that whole thing with the guy trying to grill him about the lyrics, so I Want Your Sex. And also when he got exposed as being gay. As if we didn't know he was gay already. But when it was official, he was just like, they showed the clips from the interview, like, because he got caught, because there's a undercover cop that caught him. It was like, well, I mean, when you see somebody waving their willy at you, I mean, you're not thinking it's a cop. So I went over to him. And it was just the way he handled it. It was like, oh, okay. I mean, because it's like, yeah, what is he going to be ashamed? He's already been caught. So,
Ha! Gay!
It's just like, I think, the way that he handled things, for being a celebrity especially, I thought was pretty cool. I mean, I always say, like, his music really struck, kind of in those formidable teenage years, because he always had like the supermodels in all his videos. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna like this guy's music. I wasn't even listening to the music.
When did Faith come out? Because I feel like I remember it playing at the pool when I was in Greenbelt.
So I want to say 88 or 89 was when that album came out.
So it's right before I came to Columbia.
And, the song really hit like big in like 90. But the album says it came out, I believe, 89 or 88 or 89. Because I thought it was later myself. But like it didn't really pick up until later on, because that's where all the hits started like coming from that album. What do we got here? So it says 87 actually.
Okay, so that makes sense of why I would hear it at the pool. Like, someone might have been a George Michael fan, but I have a very distinct memory of that song playing a lot at this one pool. When you'd be walking into dun dun dun.
Like, yeah,
and I remember I think I was too young for Wham, but for whatever reason I knew that name. And I feel like as a kid, we played some kind of game where we had like our military crew. We called ourselves Wham. It's probably somehow based on that. I don't know why. Maybe we're like, oh, those guys are cool.
It's just funny because like those are the last guys I would associate.
Yeah,
with
but
military.
when you didn't know, when you're a kid, you're just like, oh.
I actually didn't like that song "Wake Me Up Before You Go." I hated that song.
I definitely didn't come across that song.
But I love the song Everything She Wants. And the funny thing about that song, when you listen to the lyrics and you think like this dude wrote that in Careless Whisper when he was 17 years old. And those are some very grown up lyrics. When you hear the lyrics, it's like, God damn, like that's a 17-year-old writing these. They went into like his later years because after he did Faith, you know, that was kind of the coming out party from Wham. It's like, this is my big like solo career. Then he did Listen Without Prejudice, which had Freedom, Too Funky. There was another big hit from that one. And then from there, you know, because artists had kind of a shelf life. And he had already had kind of a long career anyway, dating back to like 79 or 80 with Wham, you know, in the UK. So about 96 was kind of a decent time for like, all right, time to wrap up. He was still making music. Then when he got, you know, outed for being gay, he made the song called Outside to kind of really express, you know, to kind of address that. But he did a lot of charity work as far as donations and stuff. But the only catch to him doing that was he didn't want his name to be attached. He was like, I want it to be anonymous. And hearing that, there was just something to that was like, that's pretty fucking cool too. He would like, his partner would say, he would look, you know, just in the papers and stuff, like, you know, people that needed help, like new glasses or shit like that. I guess because they post that shit in the UK. That's weird. Like, hey, I'm blind. Like, I'm going to put it in a newspaper. But, you know, he would look for shit like that, look for people who, like, needed something, you know, like, purchased. He would buy it for them and just, like, just don't mention that I did it. But then he also got caught smoking crack. Then he went to prison. So we go from donations to smoking crack. It's kind of weird, but that's how his life pans out. But, yeah, he ended up going to prison for getting caught with drugs and whatnot. And it couldn't have been the first time, obviously. You don't just get caught with some crack and you go to prison, unless you're black. But I remember when he died. He died on Christmas Day in 2016, and that shit, like my manager at work told me, because like I don't think he knew I was a George Michael fan, but he goes, "Yo, George Michael died." Like this was like, you know, a couple days after. It was like, because we didn't work on Christmas. I was like, what? Like, George Michael died. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You know, I pull up Wiki because that's the first thing to go to, even though people can alter it. And I was like, yo, he died on Christmas Day? I was like, yeah. I was like, God damn, dude, that fucking sucks. It's like, 2016 was a rough year. Like, Prince died, David Bowie died, George Michael died. I was like, damn, dude, stop. Like, there's other people to kill, you know? Like, you know, get someone else. Not just them. Like, these are like musicians that I enjoyed. It's just like the universe was just like, fuck it, take them all. But yeah, I'll definitely check out the one that comes up on Netflix at some point. But I actually save the one on Peacock because I will go back and watch it again. It was entertaining, and I've turned it on at 2 a.m. and watched all of it. I didn't think I was gonna stay awake for it. I was like, oh shit, I might not. I'm just gonna put it on for background noise. I was fucking tuned in. So, and then I went on a George Michael listening spree. Some of the lyrics to his songs are a little suspect. Like Father Figure is a little suspect. Like Father Figure is really suspect. And then what's the other one? Oh, there's another one that's really One More Try. Well, ew, the lyrics to that is really wild because he's talking about like a teacher and an affair, and I was like, I'm not sure you paid attention to what you wrote. It's funny
that the songs that sound kind of like uplifting and like happy, and then the lyrics really aren't that, and people just don't know, so they're like singing along.
Well, like Hey Ya.
Yeah, Hey Ya is one.
Semi-Charmed Life is another one.
The freaking big one was Born in the USA. People think is a patriotic song, and it's like anti.
It's far from it.
It's like being sarcastic, and people are just like, you hear that chorus though, yeah, Born.
You know how many politicians come out to that? Republican politicians come out to that, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I have trauma of that song. There's a video someone has.
Oh God,
Talent show days.
I wish I could get hold of that footage. Oh man, that would be
I
great.
know for a fact someone played it in high school somehow.
I wish we had footage.
And I was like, my heart sank like when I heard that. Like, there's a video. I think I immediately left the room. I was like, I don't want to see this.
Dude, that sucks, but it's great. I want to see the video. I need the video.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious of what it looked like. It's got to be hilarious. It probably makes no sense. Like I said, I remember my part was when faking the guitar part, similar to Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future, doing those moves. I had to switch guitars last minute because my dad was like, "Nah, you can't use my guitar." So I had a nice electric guitar to switching to an acoustic guitar with a broken string.
Yeah,
I did get asked out right after, but I was in 4th grade and I was scared. Like, what?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not ready to commit.
So many questions.
I think I told you my first day of school in Colombia, I got asked out on a note by 2 girls at the same time. I went home and cried because it's like I was just trying to blend in my first day.
I just wanted to have
now I'm like
friends.
put on the spot. Like, do you want to be our boyfriend? Like, both of you? Like, there's a lot to handle.
I remember, I want to say it was 3rd or 4th grade. It might have been 4th grade. This one girl, she was cute, but it just didn't, because I was a kid. I was dumb. You know, because like all the kids always talk about like, oh, I'm going with this girl. I'm going with this boy. I remember this one girl. Her name was Sequoia. Very pretty. She's like, will you go with me? And I was so confused. I was like, what? Why? Like, where? Like, what are we doing? And she was like, never mind. And I was like, obviously she didn't like me that much. If it was that easy for her to say, nah, never mind. This guy's stupid. But still, I was just like, God damn, dude. Like, I fucked that one up. Dropped the ball. Oh, well. But, you know, it worked out. I'm in a better place. Like, my wife buys me action figures. I don't think Sequoia would have bought me action figures. Sequoia was like, you want to collect what? And I was like, well,
I know I'm in a better place because by 8th grade I knew. I think you might remember maybe one of the names.
I trust me. I know. I remember. Ugh.
They might have peaked in 4th grade.
Oh, man. That's rough.
But no lie, like where I went to school before moving to Columbia, I was friends with the so-called heartthrob of 3rd grade. And I remember he had a rat tail because those were cool. His curled up. But I was like his best friend. So I had no lie. Like he was number 1. And I think because I was his friend, I was number 2.
It was like, so, here, take my leftovers.
No lie. Maybe that might have been my peak status in terms of like we'd have movie time and girls would just play with his rat tail and then the backup girls played with mine.
They're like, oh, there's no room for us over there. We'll go to him. You mind?
I had like the 2nd tier. I was like, this is kind of cool. It's massaging my head while watching my like, I don't know what's going on here, but I always attribute it like, but I know they like him more.
That was always the.
I knew I was thing. Number 2.
It's like, you're only here because of him, not me, bitch.
But I was at the same time like, well, at least I am number 2.
It's like that takes a different turn when you're older. Because when you're a kid, it's just like it's one thing. When you're older, it's like, yeah, I know you're only here because of him, but what's up with a hand job? I mean, we're like in our 20s now, so.
Yeah, 3rd grade, I didn't know what that.
Yeah, 3rd grade is like. So what's up with a hand job? A what? Like I don't know. I just saw it on a movie. Like yeah, you shouldn't watch those movies. But yeah, those days were special for sure. I also did watch Back to the Future. Speaking of Marty McFly and Michael J. Fox, because I had spoken. My one friend Shoki, who he's in Texas. He has some beers for us. I think he's trying to collect a few more to send us a care package. So Shoki, if you're listening to this, thank you. We do appreciate that. He and I was on his podcast recently called Now You've Made It Now You've Made It Awkward. and he was on Off the Mats. So on his podcast, we did a lot more talking about time travel and stuff like that. Less on my podcast. We didn't really get to it, but trust me, I have them back. Like, I love talking that shit. But one thing we were talking about was Back to the Future, just all the holes in Back to the Future, like just all the plot holes. And then, I went back and watched it. And I watched actually the first two. I can't stand the third one. It's just, I don't know. It's fine, it fits, but I just can't stand it. But the first one, you watch it and it's like when you think about it, it's like, none of this makes sense. None of this, like, this isn't how time travel works. And like, time travel isn't a real thing that we know of, but it's like, if it is, this is not how it could work. This shit does not make sense. And then the second one kind of went in the direction that it probably should have, because if you go and change one thing, it's going to alter when you come back. But even with that, it was like, okay, a lot of this doesn't make all of this makes no sense. But it's so beloved, and it's a fun movie. It's a lot of fucking fun, but it's just like, these are not good time travel movies. But I also, as I've probably mentioned on here a billion times, and I mentioned on every other podcast, I hate Avengers Endgame because of the time travel aspect, because none of the shit makes sense. Like, that's not how any of that shit should work either. They're just like, oh, make it convenient, hurry up and finish this movie. Yeah, we're going to make it 3 hours long, but just wedge in this time travel shit for an hour and have Black Widow die too. Because it should have been Hawkeye. Hawkeye should have died in the first movie. But, here we are. He survives and he gets a series. Meanwhile, Black Widow gets a movie that was too little too late. Shouldn't have fucking counted. Like, make this movie. When does it take place? In between Civil War and Infinity War? All right, good enough. Does it make sense? Fuck no. All right, make it anyway. Fuck them. Sorry, I just had to get that out. I had to get that off my chest, dude. I ate a bag of Twizzlers last night when I started feeling better and thought about that shit. Like, I've been, like, sick the last week, literally. Like, with, for anyone who knows, I have a colostomy. I wear a colostomy bag. I've been fucking sick as a dog all week, just cramping up and couldn't, like, function. So now I'm feeling better. So I ate a bag of Twizzlers in celebration. Because, health. Eating healthy is my passion. And then we had wings for dinner tonight. Just wings. Nothing else. The celery that comes with it, threw it away. But the wings, ate them. I ordered 20 wings. They sent 10. So Sarah called them. And we get they were like, well, next time you place an order with us, we'll comp you 20 wings. It's like, word. It's like, we should order another, like order right now. Just get another 20 wings. It would have been a bad idea because I was full. But, just trying to catch up. I'm trying to make it for lost time, dude. I couldn't eat for the week. All I could eat was toast. It was trash. No, it was like real trash. It was like shitty, yo. I hated it. So, yeah.
A buttered toast is tight.
It's good, but it's that's all you can eat for the week. It's trash.
When you mentioned Kurt Loder, I was wondering how old he is. That man's 78.
I thought it was 76. Yeah. It's a meme. It's a 2-year-old meme. That's what it is.
And I guess he just signed off of MTV pretty recently, where he's not doing it. I didn't know he was still doing the news.
I didn't know MTV was still a thing.
Yeah, it's like reality.
Yeah, but
did they ever change like what the M tried to make it fit some other way?
Make believe.
Like, yeah. My reality TV.
Yeah. Like, so I have the Paramount Plus app, and it's all Viacom basically. So MTV stuff is under there, Real World, all that stuff. Sometimes I'll go back and watch some old Real World, but not too often. Just because, like, all that really mattered for me for the Real World was like the first 2, maybe 3 seasons. After that season with Puck, it all fell apart for me because then people start coming on to be characters, and that's what really kind of made it sour. Like, the first season felt very genuine, even though Kevin kept trying to pick fucking fights with everybody and try, like, call everyone a racist. It was like, dog, relax. Even Heather B was like, yo, chill, son. Like, everyone's not a racist. I actually talked to him on Instagram a couple years back. Like, he had a book, and I liked it, and he sent me a message. It was like, I appreciate the like, I appreciate the follow. Check out the book, da da da. So I was like, yeah, I follow you back. back in the real world days and when you were writing for Vibe, things like that. So, I'm a fan.
That first season, if you were to level or judge their level of success throughout the years, it's kind of changed. It's like immediately after, like Eric Nies was big, huge. The guy
the
had
host
the
of The
band.
Burn.
The guy was on The Source. Heather B was like a rapper, but not she didn't blow up huge.
Yeah.
But now I think Heather B might be the number one where they're at today because she's still on the Sway morning show on freaking YouTube and all that shit like every day,
And
daily basis.
Depends on what you're looking at, though, because Kevin is a public speaker, an author. I mean, I think those two are the top active people right now still. Well, they had the reunion a couple years back, and Eric couldn't make it because he had COVID. And but everybody else made it back. I think like Andre, he was still doing music. I can't remember what Norm was doing, but yeah, Heather, Becky left. She showed up, and then Kevin made her uncomfortable, and she left. Because I think Kevin kind of made a point of her, because she's well off money wise, and he was kind of calling her out on it. It was like, oh, must be nice, blah blah blah, and she was like, I'm not here for this, and she left. I think she was there for 2 episodes. And was like, fuck this guy. And I don't blame her. I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, dude, leave her alone, yo. It's like going back to like the billionaires on the submarine. It's like on one note, they can spend their money how they want to. On another note, it's like, yeah, there are lots of people that could use help, but they're not required to give their money away. Now, I also feel like, too, if you're dumb enough to get on a submarine like that, but you're a billionaire, I feel like you weren't very smart to begin with. You probably had your money handed to you. That's just my guess. I don't know. Probably inherited it. And then I was like, well, I'm going to get a financial advisor to handle this for me and invest my money. And then they say, I did all this hard work. No, you didn't, bitch. But it's like you shouldn't feel pressured to have to distribute your wealth or contribute or help. So I get where she's coming from. It's a weird thing because I kind of get what he's saying. But it's like you don't need to attack her. But I feel like he's just always had a grudge with her for years.
He definitely has.
But he's had a grudge with everybody in that house. And the funny thing is, Julie, I think her daughters were doing charity work and shit. And it's like they're super cool. And he and Julie were getting along about that shit.
I think he might be the type that kind of likes to argue.
Yeah,
he doesn't necessarily. It's almost some people are just that way.
Yeah, well, it's
like entertainment to them.
It's like the trolls on the internet. They want to go and argue in the comments. And I was just talking about this the other day. It's like
He's a debater.
I don't engage with trolls because I don't come with the ammo to deal with trolls. They might come with all this information already stacked, ready to go. It's like, haha, I made you rage quit. It's like, so you don't understand this though. I'm now going to try to find you, and I want to hurt you physically. So I'm not the one for the trolls to fuck with because I will hold a grudge, and I'll think about it. Now, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to find your address. I'm going to get your social security number. I'm going to order computers. I'm going to send you nasty shit. I'm going to subscribe you to porn sites on the internet, things like that, fucked up porn sites at that. So I don't like trolls. I don't like debaters. I'm not smart enough to deal with debaters. I was like, I got information you don't. Fuck you. I got a fist. And, then I hit people. It's always worked for me. Kind of. Not really. It's like, why don't you have any friends? Because I keep hitting them. I have to tell my daughter that now. It's like, look, when this little kid across the street, she don't live across the street anymore. It's like, when she gets on your nerves, just tell her you don't like it. Just use your words. But she said, no, the little girl here with some psychological warfare. She was like, you don't care about my feelings. And that really hit my daughter in the heart because she's a very, very caring individual. And she cried about that. And I was like, yo. And I told my daughter straight, I was like, yo, first off, she ever says that, first off, you say, fuck you. And you walk off. And she was like, oh. She's like, no, really. Don't fucking deal with that. Don't ever let anyone make you feel bad because they're a shitty person. These are our bedtime talks, mind you. I shit you not. Because she'll always try to stall bedtime. She's like, so Dad, and then she'll ask a question. And we start talking about the kid from across the street who's no longer there. They moved. And I was like, fuck that kid. If she makes you feel bad, fuck her and walk away. Never let her give you shit for being a nice person. I was like, okay. She's not going to remember that, so I have to keep saying. I have to say it to her probably 10 times. So that makes me kind of happy that I get to, use the F word to my kid in like a constructive way. Like, fuck that kid. So, I'm not a bad parent, mind you. I think I'm a good parent. So, fuck all that. And fuck y'all for judging me.
We got our questions, but we still got to review this beer. It's been a while. Victory. We've had a few by them that have scored decently well. That's the Golden Monkey, the Sour Monkey, Berry Monkey.
This is Summer Love.
Summer Love. Sounds like Dude Love. Downingtown, Pennsylvania. It's a blonde ale that has European hops, German malts, but a surprising burst of lemonly refreshment from American whole flower hops. I didn't get much lemon. I just felt it was a pretty refreshing, good party style beer. I like the taste. It was a 5.2%.
It's not hateful, but it's not fantastic.
No, I feel like, I don't know, if it's with Miller Lite, do I want this or Miller Lite? I feel like I just switch back and forth and
this is
have a good time.
Because this doesn't taste terrible. It's pretty good tasting, but it's one of those beers where it's like, you know what factors in for this switching on and off? Price.
Yeah, Miller Lite's gonna be cheaper. I feel like Miller Lite might be a tad easier too. If like you want to shotgun it or
yeah. Well, these are in bottles, so you're not shotgunning beers out of bottles. So there is that.
Little beer bong it. I do want to get a beer bong. Could we have a beer bong episode?
Yeah, of course. What we were supposed to do.
That's how we should start judging the beers after you bong it.
This episode, we were supposed to do the draft, but since we had the delay, the Hot Girls draft from like our childhood, so since we had a delay, we'll put that back to next week. But you know what we should do next week? Well, we also got to have the pizza episode, the pizza rate episodes, because it's gonna have to take. We have to do this over like maybe 3 episodes. And then like we gotta. I think we're due for another liquor episode. Or something.
I'm gonna try to actually get maybe like 2 beer bongs on Amazon. I'm sure Amazon got it.
Of course,
they got everything.
Yeah.
It'll probably be here. I order it now. It'll be there when I get home.
It'll be here in the morning. Like you get that 7 a.m. delivery.
Well, we always get the delivery. So I have much better success with Amazon where we live now than where we used to live. Significantly better. Like that shit went up to like now I kind of
what did understand. I say? Get it by 7 a.m.
Yeah, that shit would be wild if the delivery driver duo was in it. Like, damn, 7 a.m. Huh?
Oh yeah, there we go.
I know they have some like new high tech ones.
Beer bong syringe.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else? Damn.
See the syringe one though, I just feel kind of weird putting.
I don't like that. Like the beer bong, I like more. All right.
They're always fun because I was talking to someone about that. Of like, sometimes shots can be excessive, especially if you're going to be out multiple hours. Where if you're doing them too early, things could get sloppy quick. But a beer bong is kind of like that right level of buzz. Not as strong as a shot, but gets the job done.
I also think about this with beer bongs too, and I'm just thinking about my stomach personally is heavy on the stomach. Beer, just period. Because like bonging a beer, it doesn't hit like it should hit you fast. It doesn't hit me that fast. It will catch up to me like maybe an hour later. Like it'll hit me, but it doesn't get me as quickly. So then my stomach's heavy and it fucking sucks. Doesn't mean it's not fun. Oh, you order this from a small business. Oh, okay. Get it by 7 a.m. $16.
I remember
a little aggressive.
One trip I went to in Florida, you can't travel with a beer bong through a plane.
Why not?
So we're like, maybe, you probably could. I think it just took too much room why we didn't bring one. But regardless, once we get there, that was like one of our first missions. We couldn't find one anywhere. Went to like all the party stores. And finally, I was kind of like, maybe like there's like a funnel and a tube we can just get it like track out of. We tried that. We got this transmission one, but it had a filter, so we didn't know. We didn't realize. So first one goes, I spit it all out because it's the complete opposite of a beer ball. It goes so slow because of that filter. It was completely useless.
So this beer bong is telling you how they stack up against the competition. Competition, R2. So the competition, their two is made in China/Vietnam. R2, made in the USA.
I don't know if that's a positive.
Competition, murky tube, not clear. R tube, crystal clear and transparent.
I guess that's a positive. You know when it's going to be done.
Competition, may turn milky with long use. Unsafe to drink with. Ours stays clear forever. Safe to drink with. Standard size, competition, 2 inches. Ours, extra long, 2.5 feet. Okay. I'm sorry, 2 feet versus 2.5 feet. I don't know why I said 2
Well,
inches.
I don't know if that might be too big, though.
Yeah, I think that's a little excessive.
Lurch arms. The gravity's probably better if you can get it up.
Competition, multiple kinks equal hot water treatment. R tube, no kinks equal use immediately.
I think they're stretching there.
Competition, flimsy tube equal easily damaged. Ours, sturdy tube.
All right, now they're really. I've never had a problem with my beer bong tube.
No. Well, I've had some in the past that were. I get what they're saying, but like you can go to Home Depot. You can make your own beer bong, like we did. And then the last one, smaller diameter equals restricted flow. Ours, bigger diameter, meaning she's easy.
Of course, American.
You can get more than 2 fingers in.
Bigger, better, better.
Of course.
It's gonna be freaking beer bongs. It's gonna
Made
be like,
in the
it's
USA.
like 0 to complete beer in 0.1 second.
So yeah.
There should be a turbo button.
So no, I told you about the ones we made with the on-off valves in the closet. Yeah, like you got to go all out.
Yo, it's wild. In one of the trips I took to Cancun, they had 4 liquor bottles in your hotel room upside down with a dispenser. It's just because it's all inclusive. Shit's wild. They just have that in your room.
Love to hear it.
Just wake up, turn your tequila on. Oh yeah,
So,
let's rate.
Let's
this.
rate the beer.
Oops.
So 5.2. Ah man, this is tricky. Because I did enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a 7 even. I did enjoy it. I would buy it, but I'm biased because I like Victory.
I'll go 7 too. Cause yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah. So I mean, they cross into the 7s at the very least because of purchase reasons. Even though they're going to cost more than Miller Lite, it's still, I think, is a better quality beer, something like that. So yeah. All right, let's get to these questions. Should I order the beer bong?
Well, I mean, I'll order it. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
order
we
it.
could each order one, and then we don't have to rinse it.
True. We have our own beer bongs. Yeah, I'll order it.
Would you rather have another 10 years with your partner? See, sometimes I feel like I'm being set up.
Oh, you are, dude. I already know where this is going.
I already know this one, too, because I got in a little trouble when we were talking about certain crushes, and when then you posted the Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, I mean,
She thought that was mine. I was like, that wasn't me.
she's such a cutie pie, though, dude. She's adorable.
I'm like, I'm every third post. Would you rather have another 10 years with your partner or a one-night stand with your celebrity crush?
Well, I mean, you have to think, you're going to have your 10 years with your partner. You want to have that 10 years. I mean, the one night with the celebrity crush is like, that's one night.
Yeah, that's
And you're
10 to 1.
Yeah, it's like you're going to be wanting more. It's like you're going to get to fuck your partner more. Like,
But
you know,
yes,
like-
and I know I'm being set up, but regardless, my answer is 10 years with your partner.
Yeah, I'm not taking, because I mean, Alyssa Milano's kind of crazy.
But wait,
right now.
another 10 years? So that shit's going to end? I thought
Yeah, does it end in 10 years?
that's rude.
Or do you keep going?
Another 10 years from what?
Yeah, like chill with these questions, yo.
Would you rather have a universal respect or unlimited power?
Unlimited power. What was it? Respect or power?
Universal respect or unlimited power?
I don't really care for either because I don't have either. So this shit's foreign to me.
I mean, unlimited power, you'd probably get a lot of respect.
You would think. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I guess unlimited power, that seems more useful in a way.
Because you could be a doofus and still be respected.
Like, I respect you, but you're poor as shit.
Yeah, you fucking homeless bastard.
I respect your homelessness.
I respect your tent in the woods. Like, goddamn.
Would you rather labor under a hot sun or extreme cold?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think I'm going to choose the hot sun.
The
The extreme cold is the few times I've been in really, really cold, like that Ravens game I told you about. That was terrible.
Give me a second to think because the heat. Yeah, it's tough. I might have to take the heat just because the cold. Yeah, you can die in either, but it's like, what sucks more?
I think the pain I felt in that extreme cold was one of the worst. The hot sun's like you're gonna have to drink a lot of water, but I feel like I'm not gonna.
You can't drink enough cocoa.
Yeah. Would you rather buy 10 things you don't need every time you go shopping, or always forget the one thing that you need when you go to the store?
That sucks. Because I'm already in that pocket of buying a bunch of shit I don't need. Like, look at all these action figures in this basement. I just rearranged. And I ended up with extra figures on the rearrangement. Now I'm just feeling stupid. I'm going to go with forgetting the one joint.
Yeah, I am too. Would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out at night?
So
They both have some advantages, but
I'm a night owl,
I am too.
but I do like going out and doing shit during the day.
Yeah, I think you gotta choose day. I mean, at least you get to see the.
Yeah, you get to see
See
the fucking, yeah. I mean, if you lived in New York, you can get away with this though.
Oh, this is a silly question. Would you rather cuddle a koala or pal around with a panda?
Give me the panda.
Hell yeah, I
Fuck
don't
that
want to.
koala.
Koalas look like they'll hurt you.
Yes, they're
don't trust.
Well, so they're first off, they're fucking stupid. No, they. This is a fact. They're really, really stupid.
I think they both are. Pandas be falling out of trees.
I think pandas are just.
They're clumsy and goofy.
They're goofy and clumsy, but koalas are just fucking borderline retarded.
But also, yeah, palling around with a panda, them mugs are funny as hell.
And koalas have chlamydia. 80% of them have
Their
chlamydia.
claws are friggin' look like.
And also, wait, so then I have to go to Australia, and I don't fucks with Australia like that. Even though I just had a guest from Australia, she's really, really cool, but I'm not fucking with koalas.
This answer was a unanimous panda.
Yeah, fuck them koalas.
Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
Ooh,
They both would come in handy.
they could.
I feel like the rewind does a little bit more.
I feel like it
'Cause
could.
you can then replay the whole moment. With the pause, though, you got to pause it in time, so you
So
can.
I think the rewind is more beneficial because you have to pause, you have to time it right. But also for the pause, it's like, what are you really using the pause moment for? Like, give me that rewind, son.
Yeah. Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page, or bite your tongue every time you eat?
That's a dick move because both suck.
Yeah, I could actually picture the bite the tongue when I
Yeah.
read that. I'm gonna say paper cut, and I don't like that, but biting your tongue.
You know
fucking
what?
sucks.
I don't read that often. I do digital. So yeah, give me the paper cut.
There's a loophole. We don't read anyway.
Or we can't read. What's up
No
now?
paper cuts for us.
I do audiobooks.
Trick question. Would you rather die in 20 years with no regrets or live to 100 with a lot of regrets?
Give me that 100 to with all the regrets.
Yeah, man, that's living life.
Man, life is about making mistakes, son. Well, does regret include prison time? I'm not trying to go to prison.
Guess it could.
Live a little, figure it out.
But then it's lots of regrets. So once you're in prison, there's gonna be more regrets.
Better become a Muslim.
Would you rather spend a year at war or a year in prison?
Yeah. I've never done either. I'm gonna say war.
Yeah, I probably can't answer. But
I don't know that I'm built for prison.
Knowing.
Look, I'm down to fight anyone, but I just feel like prison is a different breed of fighting. I mean, can I go where my uncle is and get some protection? Then I have to join the church though, so I'm not really. I don't know. Yeah, send me to war.
Would you rather have a mullet for a year
Yes.
or be bald for 6 months?
What?
No wigs.
I'll be bald. I don't care.
Oh, I don't think this. I think she copied this off the internet and didn't realize we're not gonna wear wigs anyway.
Like,
I mean, I've been shaving my head. I've done that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll try a mullet just because that means I can grow hair like a mullet.
I'll do a mullet for fun.
Mullets are in right now. Yo, when you go
I
to the
guess.
gym now, every gym bro has a mullet. Like, it's so many mullets now. It's just funny because it's so many people doing the same haircut. It's like you all want to look alike.
It's like, yeah, have your own personality, dude. Like, did you all like watch the same things? Like, dude, I like it.
Yeah, watch this. Oh, mullets are in. Got to get the mullet.
Just waiting for Brett to get his mullet.
Would you rather forget your partner's birthday or your anniversary every year?
So it's not possible for either, just because the dates are very specific. So can't do that. They're actually almost 6 months apart, both of them. Actually, I would take anniversary.
Yeah, I would pick forget anniversary. I think if I forgot the birthday, that'd be a bigger miss on my part. And the anniversary is a little gray area of like when the actual day.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, because like Sarah's like, well, our anniversary is February 3rd because that was the first time. So she was like, I called her girlfriend, my girlfriend, before February 3rd. But I think whatever in her mind was like, well, if he says it again, basically I think it was like the third time I called her my girlfriend. It was like, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we never made anything official. I mean, we just started fucking. And then it was like,
That's some people's.
that's my property.
I know our first hangout was the day after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday. But then that's a different date every year. But it seems easier to just remember Black Friday.
So actually, yeah, we didn't fuck for a while though. Actually, we were like hanging out. We were friends, and we started dating. We didn't like fuck until like months later. So
Lots of information.
yeah, it was just
Took
like,
it to the next level.
wanted to make sure. So like we hung out. We went to the movies all the time, and then it was like one day it was like, "You trying to fuck?" I was like, "Yeah," and then we did, and it was like, "I like this. Like I like this a lot. Let's do that again." Okay,
She was like, it was all right, I guess.
I mean, I don't care how she felt, but I know how I felt. Because it's not about her, it's about me. And here we are now. We got a kid, we got a family, we got a home. I got action figures, so I must have did something.
A kid's kind of a trophy that proves you knew how to do it.
Well, like I like to call kids fuck trophies.
Yeah.
Like anytime someone's like little bastard kid gets in my way, I say, "Get your little fuck trophy out of my way." Mine, I call mine that as well. Little fuck trophy.
Would you rather forget your partner's... Oh, we did that one.
Dumb bastard.
That wasn't written again, was it?
Possibly.
No. Okay. Just scroll down. Would you rather never age physically or never age mentally?
Never. Wait. I think I understand the question, but maybe I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I mean, that almost implies would be like, all right, you never age physically, but then you're just never learn anything else?
So I guess aging mentally, like you're not maturing. I don't. No, no, no. I'd rather age mentally. Just I'd rather like mature and grow and learn. I'd like. Could you imagine fucking 16-year-old Dante in this body? That's a fucking train wreck.
But I guess if you have you'd have your old body. You'd just be like 16 forever. So you better. I mean, think of the advantages. You better play basketball and football all the time again.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Wake up without your knee hurting.
you know, my knee is actually each week that I tried to go train. There's always been some ailment, my knee or my back. This week, my stomach, my like torso. I was like, I feel like if I can get through this week, if I can make it to Thursday with no issues, I'm getting back on those mats on Friday. I'm gonna get beat up. I'm gonna be hurt for next week, but I got back out there, and I'm proud of myself.
At Fort Lauderdale, well, there was a point where I realized my knee now is in my head of like when it will hurt. And I
Yeah.
know when it'll, like what I'll do, like because I can still play volleyball fine, but it was like, you know, there was like one of those step ups into the sand, and when I stepped up to jump back down, I was like, ooh, I don't think I want to jump down this high. So I like sat down and like got down carefully.
Dude. That's a humbling experience, dude. That shit humbles you
I was like, I would have jumped over this.
when you got to sit down and you
Yeah.
realize your age. You're like, oh my god, are we at this point? And then
You know what's worse is when I sat down and scooted over, I felt something pulling my butt.
Oh no! So my hip. I mean, you know, my right hip has always been fucked. But after the groin injury, it's been so much worse. When I went to lift my leg the other day, and a blanket was on my leg, so there's a little additional tension there, a little extra weight. Not good. I lifted, like I went to lift it and move my leg, and I felt that twinge. I was like, "Motherfucker, yo, are we at that point where we need to be taken out back and shot? Maybe." I don't know.
Yeah,
dude.
this is wild. It's like I'll be waking up just like I feel. Depending on what position I sleep, I'll wake up in pain. It'll go away after a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's like because I actually like to sleep on my back, but if I sleep the entire night on my back, that nerve that I had the surgery on gets pinched, and it'll be like the first 20 minutes I'm up, that shit hurts so bad.
I slept flat on my back, not this past week, the week before, and I was fucked the entire day. And I was like, yo, why? I couldn't put my socks on. I got scared. I was like, yo, what are we doing, yo? And, you know, I mean, there's remedies to that, but you want to go play with guns one day?
I've never shot a real gun.
Like, I've shot one once, not like in the hood or nothing.
In the suburbs.
I was in Scouts. I was like, because there's the shooting range over there by where we used to live. I was like, you know what? Because this Mexican chick that like I dig on Instagram, she was shooting. I was like, oh my god, yo! I sent it to my one team. I was like, yo, she's shooting guns now, yo. Like I like her more because like she's really really nice, but it's like she has this look like, yo, you're mean, and I like mean looking broads. Like I like broads that look like they'll slap the shit out of you if you look at them wrong. And it's like, ooh. Like ice queens. It's like I got problems. I got to talk to my therapist. Like, yo, what is this about? And she was shooting guns. I was like, I want to shoot a gun now. It's like I told her, like, hey, I shoot guns too. So now I'm like, you want to go to the shooting range? Let's just go shoot some guns. Like, see what it's about.
See what this is about. Like, damn, what was the movie? Someone. Oh, wait, what was it? Was it Malibu's Most Wanted? So he's taking the guns like sideways or something.
Oh God! All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, we're under 3, so that's good. All right, motherfuckers. Thank you, everybody, as always, for all the support, all the listening. We apologize. Well, Steve apologizes for missing last week. I would have put out an episode. I actually was going to do like a 15-minute solo episode, but I was like, man, I'm not. I was actually at the beginning part of that not feeling well, so I was like, I'm not doing this. And plus, I still had to work on another off the mats, so I was like, I just can't do this. And then I almost made that episode the fill-in episode because it was long enough to like break it up. And I was like, nah, just fuck it. But thank you everyone for all the support and everything. If you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, suggestions for beers, or suggestions for just fucking goofy shit to talk about, let us know. You can reach us at the Instagram spots. I'm at bjj.wiki. Steve's at door.bentley. Collectively, we're at the Colompton Beer Club. Just shoot us a message, and we will be happy to reply. But if you're a troll, I'm not going to reply. Except for that one troll I replied to, and he was really cool, actually. The other one was kind of a cunt, so I just blocked him. But otherwise, yeah, just be cool. Just be cool, and we'll be cool to you. And we here. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. Steve?
Good soup.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Bye, bitch.
Damn, that shit was dope.